to today's planetary forecast. Hey Shamar, how you doing, love? I am okay. And let me see. I was trying to see if I can do some stuff that I'm trying to do. Woo 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 woo. Hmm. Sometimes they let me. Sometimes they let me do background. Sometimes they don't. I don't understand what the science is behind me having a green screen background on here, but whatever. We gonna fuck it up anyway. Peace, peace, y'all. I ain't seen y'all in a minute. I haven't seen you guys since the new moon. So, we have to catch up with the mathematics because y'all know I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I can't just let these days go by and not talk about them. So, before we even get into the forecast, let's recap. So, the new moon was 527.9. We got into that, right? With the 599, 2 and 7 is finding balance on God. 2 and 7 were both like Taurian energies, heavy, right? 2 being Taurus, 7 being Libra energy. So the internal and external side of the heart chakra was definitely a big thing for the new moon bringing into the new cycle, which is really cool because it was actually a Taurus moon. So the numbers were in divine alignment with the moon's placements. So I had the 2 7 bring it into the 9. Bring Royce the 5 9 was in full effect again. Okay, because we have the 5 into the 9, which brings us to 1 and 4. So when we 5 is the enforcer. If you guys are into Metu Netter, this is when we get into Hera Kahuti. If you guys are into the Tree of Life and Kabbalah, Kabbalist, if you're a Kabbalist, then 5 is Jabora. Either way, we're talking about the celestial enforcer. If you're into 5 as far as the supreme mathematics, 5 is associated with power, which is still the celestial enforcer. We're talking about the solar plexus chakra energy here. Ogun for my Orisha followers. Aries, Mars energy for, what is that, Roman, Greek, whatever, what have you. And then we get into 5 also being astrologically speaking associated with Leo energy. Still fire, still in that confidence and courageous energy, still having some sense of enforcement having to go on. So we enforce what we, give birth to, because 2 plus 7, equals 9. 9 is the number of being born in supreme mathematics. 9 deals with the celestial womb when you're dealing with the Netarus of Yamoja or the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah of Yesod. Still Cancer energy, still the womb, still reproductive energy. Speaking of reproductive energy, 9 is associated with Sagittarius energy and astrology. So, Sagittarius energy is ruled by Jupiter, which rules over the sacral chakra, which is associated with the reproductive organs. So 9 is heavy on being born, giving birth to something. And we gave birth to something based upon where our heart was with the 2 and 7. Ooh, TikTok, y'all got me going in and out. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Okay. But so, you're enforcing what you gave birth to based upon your heart. That brought us to 1 and 4. 1 is knowledge. 1 is Aries energy. Aries energy is coming back to the solar plexus chakra. We know the gut controls the mind and everything starts with the thought, right? 1 is being active, cardinal, leadership energy. What comes first? 1. You know what I'm saying? We're here. 1 is Ketters in the tree of life. Same type of energy in that roots. This is, the bridge between, the physical and non-physical self, and we love here, right? 4 is Chesed in the Kabbalah. This is Mayat in the Netarus. This is the celestial law. You know, we enforce what we gave birth to with our heart, and now we're getting knowledge of the celestial law that's associated with it, right? Now we're taking action, 1 being Aries, with 4 sense of belonging, home and family, our emotions, taking action on how you feel. We love it here on the 14, right? And that brings us right back to 5. So then we come right back into that energy of Hera Kahuti, like I was talking to, and we're in the year of 9. So we pretty much do this cycle twice, right? 5 and 9 come back together, bring us to 1 and 4. Overall, that new moon energy was all about 5, enforcement, taking action, being in tune with your wands, your fire energy. What gets you going? You know, what are you enforcing in your space? So in this month, and you probably have felt it, especially during this past week we just experienced, you're gonna stop making me, go in and out. Okay, I'm here, TikTok. Okay, so where was I? You may have felt it, especially in that first week after the new moon started. Different people, places, things, situations, and ideas putting you in a space of enforcing the things that you said you wanted with all your heart, right? And we love it here. some of the things weren't direct. Like, I keep seeing this thing where it's like, dang, I said I wanted flowers and God gave me rain. And now it makes sense. Okay. So for some of you guys got the rain. You didn't get the direct flowers. However, if you did your mathematics, even if subconsciously, sometimes we don't know what the numbers are. We don't know what the astrology is. We don't know what the astronomy is. We don't know what the electromagnetic field is, but we're still moving in alignment. And that happens so often and so much and so easy and so naturally when we're just in tuned and aligned with how we feel, you know, um, our dreams, our spiritual selves, our internal law. Everybody has their own internal mayat. I know that outside of ourselves, we have like a collective laws and orders and statutes and amendments and bills of rights and all that fun stuff, commandments, whatever, what have you. But internally, you have your own. And as we move closer and closer or deeper and deeper into the age of Aquarius, which is all about being revolutionary in an individual, we're getting closer and closer to that energy of like, yeah, it's time to tap into my internal law. How do I feel? What do I want? What do I want to enforce with my solar plexus chakra? I don't really want to enforce what other people are enforcing. Now, the Aquarian energy is very much in alignment. And I keep talking about Aquarian energy because that's Ketters. Ketters is actually ruled by Aquarius, believe it or not. So, you know, I I've been taught to like enforce the collective law, enforce the Ten Commandments, enforce the laws of the land and, common law and consumer law and commerce law and all these different laws outside of myself, but they're not in alignment with the law that I want, the law that I want to live in. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, because rain helps flowers grow. Exactly. Exactly. But some people get the rain and they're like, I don't know why the rain just happened. Why did you give me rain? I asked for flowers. You know what I'm saying? And because sometimes the rain be so heavy, you don't even think about the flowers in the moment that you're in the midst of the storm. You don't think about the flowers until hindsight, like, oh shit, I did say I wanted flowers. Like, dang, thank you for the rain. I didn't even think about that because the storm was so crazy. I was too busy being in the storm. I didn't realize. But sometimes when we're in a storm, it'll help us better to realize in that moment. But yeah, being revolutionary with your own internal law. That's the Ketters. That's the 1 and 4, right? Um, so yeah, create your own internal law. You should have that. You should have like, and I've been talking about this since I've been preparing you guys, since 2024. We were heavy in my yacht energy last year. And we've been talking about this since like December, and I've been trying to gear you guys up. It's time for you guys to create your aura rules. What are the rules and the regulations for people entering your space? Let's talk about it. So, that was setting the tone, right? And we know it was a new moon. It was in Gemini Taurus. So Gemini energy was on the tropical. That's the zodiac energy. That's dealing with, how you think things are. The constellation space is Vedic. That's events. And that's in Taurus. So we had a Gemini Taurus new moon setting the tone. So intellect, learning how to be flexible and focused in your mindset while being in tune with your heart, what you value and prioritize. You know what I'm saying? Taurus is fixed earth. Gemini is mutable air. So a lot of times our heart can be fixed, but our mind can be wavered. Does that make sense? It's easy to manipulate people's minds. Do you know how easy it is to manipulate people's minds? That's why we have stuff like Stockholm syndrome. Why do you think you guys do stuff every day y'all don't want to do? Like y'all do not want to get up and go to work. Y'all do not want to play the money game. Y'all don't want to live around the people y'all want to live. Y'all live around. Y'all don't like. You guys don't want to do a lot of the things that you guys do every day. You guys don't want a lot of the things that y'all put up with every day, and you don't. You talk about it all the time. You make jokes about it all the time. I see you guys, doing all the scrolling and stuff like that. I see it. You guys aren't doing anything y'all want to do. and that's how manipulated your mindset is. You feel it. That's your fixed heart. Your fixed heart is like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like I don't feel this. I don't feel that. I don't feel this. But your mind is like, oh, I got to do it though cuz I've been trained to do this. I've been trained to do this since I was a child. This was my imaginary play as a child. I went to school for 12 plus years to be educated on doing these routines, prioritizing and valuing these different things. Da, 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 da. And so, you know, you mentally, whatever, right? So it's just like You said Taurus, Sun, Gemini, Venus. Oh, okay. So you had your experiences and your heart chakra invoked in that energy too. Cool, cool. For some reason, after you get done commenting, a few seconds later, it's just like disappear. I don't know if that's a setting. Can I? I don't know if I can make that come back. Maybe because I'm horizontal. Hmm. It's okay. I still can read. It's just like I gotta read it because it's gonna disappear on me. But yeah. So Gemini mindset, Taurus fixed heart. I want you guys to pay attention to that. Pay attention to your mindset and how your mindset convinces you to do things that your heart does not want to do, that your heart does not value or prioritize, desire, sees beauty in, is accepting to, whatever, what have you. But your mind is like, oh, we gotta do it anyway. And then have that conversation with yourself, like, why do we have to do it anyway? Like, who told us that we had to do this shit anyway? And why did they tell us we had to do this shit anyway? Like start having those conversations with your mind because your mind is flexible. And just like all this energy, these entities, these teachers, these lawmakers, law enforcers, your parents, grandparents, whoever raised you, your cousins, uncles, whatever around you that were influencing you to keep doing things you don't want to do, you are more powerful with your mindset than they ever will be. That's why it took them 12 plus years, 18 plus years, or whatever, to dig in your brain how to act, how to behave. And if we keep it 100, you still don't really do all the things they taught you to do. But you can train your mind a whole lot better and a whole lot faster than they can because you're in there. You and all your personalities, right? All right. So that's the Gemini Taurus energy. I want y'all to pay attention to that. It's all in the fourth house. Fourth house is a sense of belonging, home and family, your emotional stuff. Emotions are big here. Please. I cannot stress this enough. We do the same thing every summer, y'all. We do the same thing every summer, y'all. And y'all fall for it every summer. And I be over here punching the air. Every summer we fall for the red summer invocation stuff. Always somebody that gotta be crucified in front of us as a collective, and we're losing our mind and we're running in the streets and we're doing all this crazy stuff. People eat that energy. There's entities, beings, whatever you want to call them, that eat that energy all summer long. You beings that love this, you sun eaters. How about that? I like to use that word, sun eaters. And we know, if on the 666. You know what I'm saying? Wait. I don't want to get in trouble on TikTok. Be heavily monitoring. I can't use certain words, but for those who know, and those who don't, inbox me. We can talk about it later. Okay. But my sun eaters, my sun lovers, my sun bathers, you guys. Your energy is at its height. Facts, right? Your energy is at its height in the summertime. You are at your height in the summertime. So if I was a super fucking villain and I wanted to control you guys during a time where your energy is the most heightened, because the summertime is y'all time. This is when Sirius star is the closest to the whatever sun this is that we have right now, and it makes it warmer and we love it here and we're soaking it in, right? I'm going to manipulate your emotions to feel what I want you to feel so that you can behave how I want you to behave so I can absorb that, right? That's what I would do. And so that's what they're doing. like it's like clockwork. And then we spend our whole summer going through the pattern. We got to fight the power. We got to run the streets. We got to blah 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 blah. And we did not spend the energy at our heightened doing the things that would have prepared us for the winter. And in the winter, we're stinking again. Help us, help us, help us. It's cold, Things is getting weird. Is this, is that, is this, is that, you know? Agriculturally speaking, big thing. A lot of y'all, talking about this is an example. A lot of you guys talking about growing your own food. You know what I'm saying? Trading. During this time is our festival time. We have a lot, the marketplace comes out, right? All my vendors, all my business owners, my artisans, my crafts people, all you guys come out and you guys do your trading, you do your bartering, you do your energy exchanges, you do all the things. Be intentional with those exchanges. Remember, we are preparing ourselves. This is us at our peak, but we know that the winter solstice is at opposition. You know what I'm saying? We're moving our way up to the summer solstice, but winter solstice is at opposition, and that's what we're preparing for, because right after the summer solstice, we start moving towards less and less sunlight. Okay? We've been building ourselves up for this moment, and now it's going to start dwindling away. So have that mindset when we're in this space and we're building up, right? So anything that's trying to push you off of that, you got to ask questions. You got to think critically. Like, why is this information even coming to my space? Why is this here? Why is this doing this? Why is this doing that? You know what I'm saying? Is this benefiting me for what I'm trying to prepare myself for? Be in a flow of nature. If we want to talk about nature so much, we have to be in a flow of it. We know what's coming in 6 months. We know what season is on the way. If you're in Jersey, you still feel like it's winter over here. I don't know. I think we about to get 2 weeks of summer real quick, and it's about to get real weird. I'm about to migrate. I'm about to get up over here, because, like, why are we cold? Why am I wearing a jacket? Why? What is happening? I'm irritated. I'm getting angry. Um, but yeah. So in that space, just think critically. Like, why is this information, even being spread out in the manner that is being spread out, being reiterated and regurgitated so freely? Who is it benefiting? What kind of, how is it transmuting people's energies? Are we arguing? Are we fussing? Are we fighting? Are we scared? Is it stagnating us from preparing ourselves? Is it stagnating us from, cultivating certain things? Agriculture space is heavy here. You know what I'm saying? Is this supporting? You know what I'm saying? And in what ways is it supporting? I'm not big on that this is a distraction, that's a distraction, because that kind of does a disservice to you guys. I'm pretty much insinuating that you lack the capacity to pay attention to multiple things at multiple times, and I'm not going to do that. That's not nice. So I'm not even going to go that distraction route. What I will say is, while you're paying attention to something, make sure you're still in the flow of nature. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. So again, Gemini Taurus blend in the fourth house, how you feel and what you think, and the alignment of the two is a big one. Okay. And then we had the moon and Jupiter at minimal angle, because Jupiter is in the Gemini Taurus connection, and Jupiter gives the expansion, the abundance, the joy, the generosity. It gives the philanthropic energy, heavy. Hold on, put my glasses before you disappear. Nah, I need my sunlight. Right, I need my sunlight. I need to get up out of Jersey. um, but yeah, so the moon was in alignment with that energy, giving us that expansion and that abundance. Is this bringing me joy? Is this, Jupiter is also a connection to the oracle, the wisdom from the oracle and the sages. As you know, Jupiter rules over the fourth Sephirah, which is Chesed, how we, create our internal law. You know what I'm saying? That's the Maya energy. Now, I know in modern astrology, we have Neptune now, so Neptune is more so associated with that energy. However, in traditional, when we're dealing with the tree of life and the time stamp with that space and time, we are dealing with Jupiter energy ruling over that. And then Jupiter also rules over the second Sephirah, which is Chokmah. This is when we get into wisdom, which is the exercise of the knowledge that we receive from the Ketters. So the moon is in alignment with those placements. You know what I'm saying? The internal law and exercising of the knowledge. How do you create your internal law? You have to exercise your knowledge. You get a thought. It's like the scientific method. I get a thought. I get or I'm presented with an issue, or something comes to my attention. I have to do like an experiment, right? You do an experiment, you do trials, you have, your variables, the independent, dependent, wop, you come up with your hypothesis or whatever. This is my hypothesis based on more Keter information. I'm about to exercise it. And you exercise it into wisdom. And then when we're ready for our conclusion, in conclusion, XYZ, that's when we're at our Bina, our three, our understanding, right? But we're not talking about that. We didn't make it there yet. Our moon is with Jupiter. We are exercising. Exercise, exercise, exercise on the day of 5 of enforcement. So that was all happening on a new moon. Also, Mercury entered the Gemini zodiac. That happened at 4:15 p.m. That's a great time. Mercury rules over Gemini, so Mercury is currently in its Gemini, zodiac. I mean, Mercury's in its Gemini zodiac, but Mercury is in its home space, so it's real fun there. Mercury rules over decision making skills. You okay?
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah.
You need something? You sure? Oh, you just want to stare at me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you.
Okay.
Um, again, Gemini energy is about being focused and flexible at the same time. Community and communication is heavy here as well. Mercury, rules over that energy. The decision making daily routine is heavy here. So learning how to be flexible yet focused in your daily routine. There will be tests there too. Things coming to you, things you don't want to do, things you do want to do, things you have to do, whatever. It's going to be so many options. Be mindful of being overwhelmed. Be mindful of saying yes to everything. Be mindful of overextending yourself and overbooking yourself like I keep doing. My Mars is in Gemini, so I am invoked. Um, all these different things is heavy there. So then we get into 528-9. We have made it to the day of 5, 2, and 8 is bringing wisdom to the transformations happening now, right? Because 8 is building, destroying. 2 is wisdom. We went over that super heavy. I ain't going to do it again. And 2 and 8 comes together and makes 10. Now 10 is Malkuth in the Kabbalah, right? Malkuth is the 10th Sephiroth, and now we've made it to the earth. We're in the earthly realm now. We like it here, right? Who doesn't like being on earth? Uh, that was a crazy question. Anyway, 10 is Jeb and the Neteru, still earth. You know what I'm saying? When we get into the 10th house in astrology, now we're in Capricorn, more earth, being determined, slow and steady, hard work. We love it here. Um, so that's what the 10 is about. You know what I'm saying? It's about bringing things into fruition in the physical world. 10 comes into 1, which is knowledge. So that's the beauty between the 10 and the 1, because 1 is we're in the non-physical space now. You know what I'm saying? But when we're in 10, we're in the earthly space. So that's why when you look at, like, if you look up like the tree of life and the different symbols and stuff like that, the branches that are going upward look identical, excuse me, to the roots going downward, right? They look identical. And that's the mindset between the 1 and the 10, the Jeb. You know, um, we give birth to our knowledge, as above, so below. In its purest form, or in its Kabbalistic form, as above, so below. Um, so that's what we're dealing with. We're in the day of 1 now. I feel like 528-9 is supposed to be like a very significant day for me for some reason. And I cannot for the life of me remember why. Is it somebody's birthday? Is it an anniversary for something? I don't know. But when 528-9 came around, I was like, this is a special day. And I cannot remember why. And I kind of feel bad about it. Like, I should remember why 528-9 is a special day. I don't know. I want to see what Mars is like. Mars does its thing, and we're gonna get into that in a moment. I just wanted to recap with y'all real quick. But yeah, so we're in the day of 1. This was a great day for my day of 1ers. In fact, let me speed through this a little bit more because it's taking longer than I thought it would. And you guys know we're in the month of 5. Everything we did during the month of May was about enforcing. We were heavy on the enforcing, heavy on the Jabora, the Hera Kahuti energy, solar plexus chakra. The month of May was all about enforcing the numerology, enforcing the astrology, astronomy, enforcing all the sciences and arts. It was the space of enforcement, right? So we are enforcing this one right now we made with the 2 and 8. That brought us to 6. 6 is Tippereth and the Kabbalah. 6 is Heru and the Neterus. 6 is the one in the center that all the other spheres are connected to, because 6 is the heart. This is beauty here. And just the same way how it is set up in your body, right? Your heart is connected to all the organs and all of your systems throughout the rest of your body, because you get through the veins and the arteries, because it gives and takes away oxygen, right? That's the same way the Sephiroths work. As within, so is without. Your auric body is set up the same exact way as your physical body, right? um so that's that there. 6 in astrology deals with your health, wellness, daily routine, your moral and integral code, decision making, because now we're getting into Virgo energy, harvesting, being of service, big things here. And then we're going to give birth to the 6 with the 9. We're in the year of 9. We're in the year of giving birth. We're in the year of Yesod and Jupiter and, you know, uh, traveling, foreign interaction, which has been very heavy since 2025. We've definitely been in divine alignment with the foreign interactions. It's been nonstop international things going on. Okay. Um, but we give birth to that 6 through the 9. It gives us 1 and 5. So now we have knowledge on the enforcement energy. You guys may have been having that aha moment, like, oh shit, we have been in a month of 5. This is crazy. Also taking action. 1 is Aries energy. Now 1 is not just knowledge and supreme mathematics, but 1 is also Aries energy and astrology, while 5 is Leo energy and astrology. So it's definitely also in a divine alignment between your gut and your heart. What's your gut telling you to do? You know, the gut controls the mind, and how is it in alignment with your heart? So, you know, the first time we were going heart, you know, head to heart. Now we're going gut to heart. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 fires. And if you guys take my energy awareness course, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah. So overall, the next day, of course, was the day of 6. You guys get the flow of the math. So we can assume that the next day is gonna be the day of 7, right? So on the day of 6 of Tippereth, we let me see. We were still in the Gemini Taurus moon. The max north declination of the moon during the current cycle happened. The moon and Teja posterior were in conjunction, which is located in the Gemini constellation. It's located at the back foot of Mercury. It's located at the back foot of the Gemini constellation. It gives off the energy of Mercury and Venus. And in other words, force, energy, protection, health, and goodwill is the the electromagnetic field that comes off of this particular star. And also in ancient Kemetic horoscopes, time telling, we entered the decan of Seth, and we're actually here until June 18th. So remember that we're still here. We're still in the decan of Seth. This is the god of chaos, violence, perfectionist and bold, seeking challenges, loving to be the center of attention and communicating. You said Aries, Mars, and Leo moon. Okay, so you probably felt that heavy on the 25th, 28th. You know, doing those mathematics. So then we come into 529, 9, 2 and 9 brings us to a day of mastery, because 2 plus 9 equals 11. 11 goes into the 5 because now we're enforcing the space of mastery. Now we have 1 and 6. Now we have knowledge on the Tippereth that we just experienced or brought to a close the day before. That brings us to 7, closer to God and supreme mathematics. 7 is the Libra Oba scales and astrology. 7 is Netzach, which is Het Heru, and the Neterus, that is beauty, being the celestial designer. We take that 7 and we put it into the year 9 because we want to give birth to the 7. We want to give birth to that Venusian Libra energy. We love it here. Of course, we want to give birth to our connection with God, our internal self. Hold on one second, Miles, I got you. And then when we put the 7 to the 9 together, it comes up to 1 and 6. So now, once again, 1 and 6, right? So once again, we have knowledge of the Tippereth that we experienced the day before. So overall, peace to the God. Hey, Elmore. So all in all, it brings us to a day of 7. So 529-9 was a day of 7, was a day of God and supreme mathematics, law, justice, truth, and righteousness, Venusian energy heavy, being a celestial designer in our space. What's up?
Is it okay if you write on this paper? Is it okay if you write the words? Don't touch the sugar in the oven.
You want me to write don't touch? Okay, let me see. Look, but don't touch. Don't touch. Please, would you like me to write your name?
I'll do that.
Huh?
I'll do that.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go. Oh, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. My man's over there labeling stuff in the refrigerator and shit. He got a tourist child. He don't play by his food. Anyway, and neither does my Leo child. They're funny. Boys are funny. Anyway, Mercury is the furthest distance from the Earth on this day. Mercury also reached the max brightness The moon and Castor were in conjunction, and the moon and Pollux were in conjunction. Those are the Gemini twin stars. Okay, Shamar, thank you for pulling up. And you know, if I'm not here, you can always rewind. Um, the Castor star in the Gemini constellation is the mortal twin. This is honor, intellect, and learning. Pollux in the Gemini constellation is the immortal twin, and this is hubris, violent, rash, and brave. So we experience both of them in that space of mastery, and that was cool, especially on the day of 7. And 7 is the Libra scales, and having that balance between the two, being intellectual but also like I'll beat ass at the same time. Don't get it twisted. That's a vibe. Hey, Adonis, peace to the God. Um, and then of course we had some other things going on, but you had to be there. Sappho also entered the Taurus zodiac energy in that space and time, which is pretty cool because Sappho rules over how you woo the people around you, your inner poet. Then on 539, we can infer that that day will most likely be a day of 8, right? So now we're in the 3-0. Now we've made it to the understanding. We done went through 9 numbers of 2, right? From 20 to 29. And we know 2 is about wisdom. So we gained 9 days of wisdom. So now we have made it to understanding. We now at the end of the month, 5:30. We had an understanding. We got here. We had creation, expression, emotion. 3 is Bina in the Kabbalah, which is ruled by Saturn. We get our understanding through the challenges we experience in our life. Scientifically speaking, people encode their DNA based upon traumatic experiences. Whether it's, I guess positive and negative. I don't really like to use positive and negative, but because I feel like that's like, societal based. Like this is good, this is bad. But things that are really big that invoke like a big energy out of you. It gets encoded in your DNA. You start to have like a mental muscle memory about these things. Even if you can't consciously remember what happened 3-4 years ago, your energy remembers. You know what I'm saying? Um, some days you feel really, really happy. You're like, I don't know why. I'm just really, really happy today. And probably when you were like 12, you went to a award ceremony, like all this cool shit. Your parents did some dope shit. You went played hooky and you went to school. I don't know, like cool stuff was just happening all day long. And your body remembers that. And so now at your big age, you're happy today. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do the sad thing because you guys know what sadness is. Let's do happy for once. So, that's when we come to this space of understanding, right? In conclusion, based upon the knowledge and how I've been exercising the knowledge to bring me wisdom, now I'm in this conclusion. Saturn rules over the challenges we have experienced that give us the discipline, the order, and the boundaries that we currently have. And we live in a space that likes to play on our mental health and make us feel weak and I don't mind the word vulnerable, but like vulnerable to the point of like weakness, like, oh my god, I'm just this little fragile thing and everything just makes me blow up and oh my god. Like that's what's happening right now. So I'm not a fan of it. You guys know I'm all about empowerment and enlightenment. I'm like literally the complete opposite. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here. You're allowed to cry, but then what are we gonna do? um but we live in a space right now that is kind of promoting like staying mentally weak, feeling like a victim all the time, staying in that mindset that the world is against you, because it keeps feeding us these images. It keeps putting these like stars, celebrity people in our space that keep showing these things, that keep bringing up these conversations and putting it in the movies and the music and da da da. It keeps invoking that same mentality. And I was talking about this earlier this week, and I'm like, bro, don't y'all notice? Like, y'all don't find it weird that we have been engaging in the same activist movement since the beginning of time? Like, yo, even before biblical time, women have been fighting to be treated a certain kind of way. And even to this motherfucking day, in big 2025, at our big age as a society, and I know our society is way older than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, Gregorian calendar speaking, y'all know what I'm chatting about. You know what I'm saying? Why are we still talking about the same shit? Why are we still marching the streets about letting me abort my abort things out of my body, letting me, stop touching me, stop sexually objectifying me. If I want my titties out, they're gonna be out. Like, if I want my ass out, it's gonna be out. Look away. Like, what the fuck? Why are we still having these conversations? Why are we still having conversations about war? Stop sending people to war. We don't want to go to war. We just want to survive. Majority of the people that sign up for the military sign up for the military for the benefits. They don't sign up because they're like, ooh, I can't wait to go to war. Like, we're not doing that. That's not what's happening. So why are we still here? Why are we still doing the economics and the caste system? Why are we still doing feudalism? Why are we still under ancient Roman law? Like, it's just like certain things that we have been fighting against for centuries. Why are these still things? I don't understand. Like, what's happening? Why is this a consistent cycle? And do you see progress? Do you truly see progress? Or I see like change in the language that we use. I see change in the fashion. Everybody, but then we also repeat fashion. A lot of us are looking like the 60s. A lot of us are looking like the 80s. Now we're just a collection of all the fashions at this point. And it's just like, why are we still here? Why are we still having these conversations? Why are we still being activists about these things? What's keeping us in this loop? Do we want to stay in this loop? Are we addicted to this loop? Do we want out? What's going on? I don't know. I just had a moment and I was just like, bro, somebody tell me, like, what's going on? Why are we still doing this? What's happening? I don't know. Anywho, let me come back. Where was I? I don't even remember where I was. We were on a day at 3-0 and I was talking about Saturn. But those are challenges that give us the boundaries. Because like, why do we still have these challenges? This is crazy. But it does give us the discipline and order. It has us keep moving in that way. And we're passing it down in our DNA and passing it down in our DNA and passing it down in our DNA. And that's what keeps creating the loop. But at one point, do we stop doing that loop? Like, I see so many smart, intelligent people and they'll just keep us in that loop, but they just explain it differently now. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially the whole woman situation, like, and the, quote unquote conscious community or whatever. It's still like, women, y'all over there though, and y'all have to behave like this, and y'all gotta da da da. And the separation of races. Like, why are we having a racial conversation in a spiritual circle? Why are we having a racial conversation and we're talking about a historical time that came before race was even created? Like, what are we talking about? Why do y'all keep talking about continental borders, but you're referring the continental borders to a place in time that happened before there were even continental borders? You guys, like, what's happening? Why are we keeping this cycle going? This is crazy talk. Thank you, Key. Thank you, Key. I appreciate you. It's crazy talk. It doesn't make sense to me. And I try to ask questions and people get defensive, and now I'm dumb and I'm retarded and go sit down and I lack comprehension skills. Okay, cool. But like, I want a real answer at some point in time. Somebody tell me, like, why are we still here? Do you guys not notice that we're still here? Like, why can't we get out of this? If we all feel the same thing, we all feel it. You can't tell me all don't feel it. Why aren't we behaving in it? Why do we keep regurgitating like law and order outside of ourselves that really does not apply for real? And we know it doesn't. What parts of those things make you feel good? I don't know. I don't get it. But neither here nor there. That's all three. That's being in a nutshell. I don't know. I had a lot to say about Saturn today. So 3 goes into the 5. We enforcing it. Y'all was out here enforcing. Y'all understanding. Everybody. That was probably a very argumentative day that day because everybody has their own Bina that separates. Like, you guys aren't, black enough. Y'all not the original people. Women, y'all sit over there because y'all came out of our bodies. Like, children are beneath us. Like, sexual victims or did they really like it? Like, what? I don't fucking know. Anyway, you guys were really enforcing you guys' understandings and really showing yourselves. And so that became the 8. That brought us to transformation, building and destroying. like transformations, right? 8 is empowering. That's Pluto energy heavy. 8, however, 8 is different in the Kabbalah. 8 in the Kabbalah is Sebek. 8, um, I mixed it up. The Sebek is the netters of 8. 8 in the Kabbalah is Had. Now we get into Mercury. This is compartmentalization. This is how we organize things. This is why Mercury is associated with analyzing and can get into over analyzing, because we can over compartmentalize. We get, addicted to separating things. I love organizing. I love a good binder with little tabs on it and stuff like that. But sometimes you can get to a point where you have too many tabs. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, bro, did we really have to have two separate, areas for this one thing? And I see the way we're breaking that down, especially in like health, is holistic, because we have to bring it back to holistic, right? Especially with the sciences. Like, why is chemistry and biology two different things? Yeah, I could see it being like taught separately to an extent, but after a while, put that shit together. It doesn't make sense for it to stay separated. Same thing with like physics, quantum physics. Why is that separated from chemistry and biology? After a period of time, put that shit together. Same thing with astrology and astronomy. Like, this is how I teach my energy awareness. It all should be together. Why? Like, yeah, I'm going to explain to you separately as I sit here and do so, right? I'm going to tell you what it is in the Netarules. I'm going to tell you what it is in the Kabbalah. I'm going to tell you what it is astrologically, astronomically, and through the numbers, and through Christianity, if it comes to me to do so. I'm also going to tell you it on a Hindu level. I'm going to tell you it through a pagan druid level. And so you can embed it in your mind how it's all the same fucking shit. So what are we arguing for? Like, what the hell? That's because we're stuck in the Acephora. We are obsessed with separation. We are obsessed with compartmentalizing. We're obsessed to the point where you would take a rainbow flag and make like 20 different versions of the same fucking rainbow flag. Like, why do we do that? Why does that make sense? Happy Pride Month, y'all, anyway. But like, why did that make sense? Like, why do y'all need to be so separated? Why do you have like what is the obsession? I don't get it. I don't get it. Does it make you feel special? Is that like a special star? Like, oh, I got my own award. Because you don't need to do that. Because when we get down to it for real, there's absolutely nobody here that's like you. You literally belong by yourself. For real. If you really want to go there, there's nobody like you. Unity and love. Exactly. That's literally what I'm saying in a nutshell. Why are we so against unity and love? What is the obsession with separation, with division, with making up reasons why we should be like, I shouldn't have to fuck with you and I shouldn't have to fuck with you? Like, why are we so addicted to that? Facts. The breakdown is so important. It's all the same, and I'm glad you can help people connect the Facebook at the bottom be tripping. Thank you. Anywho, that's all the 8. That's 8. That's Sebek. Sebek is the compartmentalization, which is important. I don't want to take away from the fact that it's important, because then you wouldn't know where the head is a head, the tail is a tail. You wouldn't know the head from the tail. And you should know the head from the tail. But you should also know it's a part of the same body. You should, I know this is all one body. If you touch certain parts of my feet, you're gonna get to certain parts of my organs. You look up, at my tongue or in my eyes or in my ears, you see certain things. If I go outside and I look at all the different grasses outside, yeah, they're all flora. You know what I'm saying? But certain stuff out there I should be eating, and certain stuff I shouldn't be eating out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to compartmentalize. At the same time, yeah, we should have that we should never forget. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget. Don't get so obsessed that you're like super separated. And hopefully we got that at the end of y'all overindulging in that 3. Hopefully we got there. Hey man, it's a piece of the God. So of course we give birth to wherever you guys were at when y'all were enforcing. because we enforced the 3, it brought us to 8, building and transformations in our Pluto energy and the Sebek energy, and how we're compartmentalizing. You guys probably started compartmentalizing people based upon their responses to your understanding, and so on and so forth. I know some people was doing me dirty, and that's because y'all be reading, but y'all don't never be in my lives. Y'all don't be listening to like how I talk. Y'all be reading my messages and stuff, and y'all read it with whatever nasty attitude y'all already got inside y'all head. And so y'all be like, "Girl, this bitch be, what the fuck is she talking about?" And I'm like, "Bro, I be over here giggling and shit like, the fuck?" Like, I ain't even like that. Like, whatever you talking about. But I already know. I don't even, people was coming for my neck. I was shit. So we take that 8 and we give birth to it in the year of 9, right? And so when we give birth to it in the year of 9, it brings us to 1 and 7. So 1 and 7 is that knowledge of that God. We experienced the day of 7 the day before, but so now we're in the space of knowledge of that 7. We're taking action. We're being in the leader in that 7 with that 1. Overall, 5:30 was a day of 8. It was a day of transformation, empowerment, death, and rebirth. People passed away that day. The veil was thin that day for my mediums and my people that like to do graveyard magic, etc., etc. Invocation is a big thing on the day of 8. 8 is also a good day for business. Standing on business, doing business plans and stuff like that on a earthly realm or whatever. Organizing, stepping into your internal Sebek or your hot energy was big as well. So that was a day of that. So astrologically speaking, Mercury was at superior conjunction. It was like, oh, well, this is a day of Sebek. Bet I'm about to be behind the sun. Gotta figure it out. And Aries was in opposite. However, while Mercury Hod was behind the sun, it was in front of the sun. Scorpius constellation. So we have an Aries and Scorpius, 2 major stars in the Scorpius constellation. They were in opposition of the sun. So Antares is actually located at the head of the Scorpio constellation. It gives off the energy of Mars and Jupiter. Pride, being liberal and demanding, was on the spotlight of our experience. And yeah. So we had Aries and Scorpius over there. And then Mercury and Aldebaran were in conjunction. Aldebaran is located at the eye of Taurus. So even though Mercury is in the Gemini zodiac right now, it's still in the Taurus constellation. All right. There's a 24-degree difference. If you guys ever, say you only have access to your tropical chart at the moment and you're like, oh, then I don't want to know what my Vedic chart is. The mathematical equation is subtract 24. There's a 24-degree difference between the tropical chart and the Vedic chart or constellations or whatever, what have you. If my sun is at a 25-degree in Virgo on the tropical chart, then I know that I'm at a 1-degree Virgo on the Vedic chart. I'm in the first, and you want to break it down into lunar mansions and padas and nakshatras. There's 3 sections in a well, actually, if you break it down into padas, you're breaking it down into like 13-degree sections, and then it breaks down even more into 4. So it's like 3-4 degrees per pada or something like that. But that's for later. We talk about that later. But you got the cardinal part of the 30 degrees. The first 10 degrees, the second degrees is the fixed part of that zodiac, and then the last 10 degrees, of course, is mutable as you prepare to enter the next constellation or prepare to enter the next zodiac, however way you want to look at it. But that's how you do the math for that, for those of you guys who just wanted to know. I feel like one of y'all was like, oh snap, you're welcome. The moon and Persepi were also at minimal angle. Persepi is in the Cancer constellation. It's located at the head of the crab. It gives off, this was not a fun star. It gives off disease, disgrace, but also adventure. And you can also connect into the spirit of the ancestors with this star as well. Peace to the God. Hey, Lazarus. And so, Persepi is kind of like it's definitely a 6-9 star. Like, ooh, but again, that's coming into the energy that I was saying that 5:30 was probably like swarming on people, like on people being crazy on Friday. And then yesterday was Saturn Day. 5:31:9. And we're, entering this energy of Shabbat, which was the giving of the Torah. I want to start reading the Torah with y'all. That's what I should start doing for my stream read. I know that I have incompleted the Sefer Yetzirah, which I will be back and restart that, John. But I do want to read the Torah and the Zohar with y'all. That is something I did want to do. I literally had it written down already, so it was already in my plans. It was just the order of operations was a little off. But anyway, 531:9. Now we're in 3:1. Now we have our understanding of our knowledge. So it's kind of like a triangle situation. We're always in here when it comes to the weeks of the month. And so now we're at our understanding from our starting point, from the knowledge. Okay, bet. And what are we doing with that? Now we're going into our chesed. Now we're coming down here. We're coming into our mayat. In supreme mathematics, 4 is culture, is freedom. And in the Netarus, 4 is mayat. This is your internal law. Like I said, I know there's like a million, billion, quadrillion different laws, orders, commandments, demands, statutes, amendments, bills, whatever you guys got going on to follow outside of yourself. However, if you guys be honest with yourself, you guys don't agree completely 100% with all of that stuff. You guys have your own internal law to get to know and to honor. You are your God. You got to start moving like that. Stop letting people, places, things, situations, ideas outside of yourself tell you what to do all the time. Except for serial killers. Y'all keep letting people tell y'all what to do. Y'all go sit down somewhere. But y'all get what I'm saying. Within reason. Don't be out here doing no crazy stuff. But y'all all have y'all own internal law, and it's okay to follow it. It's okay to follow it. Like, I'm going to give y'all one in external law. Just remember that for every energy, there's an equal opposite energy. So whatever you're going to put out, whatever you're going to act on or whatever, there is going to be a response. And you just got to take a deep breath and just deal with the fucking response. Now, if there are responses that you don't want to deal with, then don't deal with it. Don't do it. Don't do the action. I don't like the consequences to this action. Then don't do the action. Some of you guys don't care about the consequences of the action, but that's your internal law. Like, that's what you're here for. Like I said, we are in the Decan of Seth, which is the god of chaos. So, there will be some chaotic people out here to show you, like, bro, this is what my internal law is. There's a yin and yang in all things. So just like we have like the purest of them all, we got our Jesuses and our Buddhas. Guess what? There's an equal opposite energy for them too. And they have to exist. That's something that you guys got to learn how to breathe out. They have to exist. They have to exist for the balance. The universe doesn't know good or bad. The universe goes where it's called. We think about good or bad based on what? Our 3, our Bina. And on this day, we come into the knowledge of our Bina. See how that works? You have your own internal law. You have your own space, what's right and wrong. But if the universe, so Bina is that. If Bina is 3 and the download that you get from the cosmos is at a 1, that 1 don't give a fuck about that 3. That 3 is you. That 3 is you based upon your exercises. You had to go through wisdom before you got the understanding. You had to exercise those downloads down here in this realm, in this life. Or you just sat and played the scenarios out in your mind or in your dreams, however way it played out. But when you got those thoughts, when you got that knowledge, when you had, that message, however way you guys word it, it's your world. I'm not trying to control your vernacular, but you guys know what I mean. When you got that, it's up to you now to how you're going to, again, the scientific method, right? It's up to you on how you're going to like exercise it out to come to your own understanding. Your own. Now, some of you guys, y'all got everything outside of yourself in your understanding. So y'all let other people, places, things, situations pave the way for how you behave. And y'all don't really allow yourself to do anything, to experience anything, to go anywhere, because you already have these different entities and different things outside of yours. Like, I already know what they're going to do. I already know how this is going to be. And based upon what? Based upon something somebody told you? That's crazy. I think like a layman's example I can give is lions. Shit, I can give one even lamer. Dogs. And dogs is a big one. Like, I have a pit bull. That's like everybody loses their fucking mind. And I'm like crazy. Like that's so crazy because to me, it's chihuahuas and terriers that are like terrorists. Okay? It's not my pit bull. It's not my pit bull. My pit bull is a big baby. He's a crybaby. He's scared of everything. He want to sit up under me all the time. He's just big. That's it. He's big, and if you don't do his nails, you gonna get messed up. And I'm pretty sure if you were around a Chihuahua or Terrier and they didn't get their nails done, you probably get messed up too. Probably even worse because they have smaller nails. At least these are blunt nails, and I rather have bruises than open scratches. I don't know. That's just my preference. Oh, interesting. My mom reads the Torah. Oh, does she? That's fire. I'm about to be like your mom. That's a goal. That's fire. But yeah, so no. Yeah, but no. But yeah, so now we're in, this chesed of four that we got from our 3 and 1. So four is that internal law that we've gotten into. We talked about this a little bit already, with that being Jupiter energy and Jupiter ruling over the chesed and traditional astrology. But I know in modern astrology it has to be Neptune because we're so accustomed to Neptune now with our collective mindset, and that's perfectly fine. I don't mind. But yeah, now we come to the law and we're going to enforce it, right? Because what comes after the fourth Sephiroth? Oh, this was like a nice ABC. Like, okay, we got the 3 and 1, we bring it to the four, to the Maya, and now we about to enforce that joint in the fifth Sephiroth. Okay. Um, so if you guys got like the clock, like if the clock was like, I don't know, maybe you guys were catching like 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, like 5:43, or like, like the sequence numbers, that's probably like, I don't know. It sounds cool. But so now we're enforcing this internal law. And you know what happens when you enforce your internal law? You come to 9. You're giving birth. You're bringing things out. 9 is Yesod in the Kabbalah. 9 is Yamoja in the Netarus. 9 is Sagittarius energy in astrology. This is all associated with the reproductive organs. 9 is born in supreme mathematics, still giving birth, still using reproductive self. Not always like we are conceiving and having like a physical human baby. Sometimes it's, conception of a gift, conception of art, conception of a thought. You know what I'm saying? Conception of a behavior, a routine, whatever. It's not always like baby talk. You know what I'm saying? Because, and that's why we get into like a Queen of Fu is the big one, manifesting with your womb. Womb healing is important, especially for the feminine energy, because our wombs are internal, which is like a big hoopla because, internal is what? Moon for real. And that's what the divine feminine connection is to like Cancer energy, the moon phases, etc., etc. And masculine energy as well. Masculine energy is a little bit slower. So masculine energy is more so the sun. So like men do have cycles, you know what I'm saying, but it's more external. Whereas women's cycles are more like, volatile because they move in a 28 day. And it's not even that much of a difference. Well, no, it is when you get down to the details of it, because the moon does change, like it's changing phases nonstop because of the sun. But the sun changes phases nonstop too. It's just we can't see it because it's so bright. So we can't even like totally determine it. In fact, I'm about to go down a rabbit hole about that too, because every planet has phases. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Like we just experienced Mercury's. We're actually in a new Mercury phase because Mercury is about to be behind the sun. So we have an alignment between the Earth, the sun, and Mercury. So now we're in a new like mercurial cycle now. So we're about to start being in wanting, no, waxing Mercury. You know what I'm saying? And then like in like 2 weeks or so, we'll be at dichotomy. 2, 3 weeks or so, we'll be at dichotomy with Mercury. And then same thing with Venus. I believe Venus is at dichotomy right now, which is half phase. I'm sorry. Dichotomy means half phase. So like, of course the sun has to have phases too, right? Because, based upon like our position on Earth. And then of course Earth has to have phases, but our phases are based upon all those other planets. That's why we're more self-centered. We're like, we're just gonna talk about how y'all are in relation to us rather than how we are in relation to y'all, because we ain't got time for all of that. But yeah, so we gotta get into that. We're gonna get into that eventually. No more side conversation, sunshine. I'm trying not to. Okay, so Mercury was also the smallest distance to the sun. Um, and that's pretty much what's going on the 531-9. So we have, we enforce the 4, it brings us to 9. Now we're giving birth on the things. And then the 9 and 9 come together because we're in the year of 9, which brings us to 1 and 8, which I love. You guys know I'm big on the 1 and 8 because that's the solar plexus chakra. You got 1 being Aries, the gut that controls the mind, fire in your gut that puts you in fight or flight mode. I'm hungry. I'm this. I'm that. This needs to get done. Da, da, da. Your gut always tells you. And Scorpius energy is the 8, providing the transformations based on the message of the gut. Now, if you guys don't like to be in tune with your gut, you like to ignore your gut, blah, 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 you ain't doing too much on that 8. You ain't transforming enough. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, some of you guys are very in tune with that Aries energy. You let that John run wild. So now you over here manipulating people, just being overindulgent in the 8. But like I said, for every energy is the equal opposite energy, which is what I like about the figure 8. Every time I talk about 8, you know what I think of? I think of Schoolhouse Rock when a girl was like ice skating and the song about the figure 8 and it's all soothing and now it's nap time and we love it here. And so, and that is definitely like a big, even doing this, like even when you're looking at the magician card, when you're maestro, when you're like conducting the crowd or whatever, as you do this, there's an equal opposite reaction, right? The higher you go, the lower you gotta go to get back, down across. Like, okay, you want to go high, bet now you gotta go even lower. Oh, you want to go, the goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. So that's heavy on the 8. And that's heavy, on you guys paying attention, how y'all, execute your solar plexus chakra. The goal, first of all, and I talk about this heavy, but I'll mention it again. The goal is to control yourself. It's kind of how I was talking about earlier, how everybody has their own internal law. Everybody. Everybody has their own internal law. Nobody completely 100% agrees with any type of law outside of themselves, right? So having that sense of awareness of individuals and yourself should help you when you are having energy exchanges. Like when I'm talking to y'all and I don't agree with something y'all said, I'm just saying I don't agree. I'm not trying to convince you to think what I think. It's not important to me for you to think what I think. I like the fact that we're having this energy exchange. I might have took a piece of what you said and been like, I'm gonna consider that and let that transform my thought a little bit because I kind of like that. You was spitting. I didn't know that. Or you just enlightened me or you just provided me with some clarity. But if I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you. I'm not trying to go back and forth with you. I don't care enough to go back and forth with you because I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to control you. I don't want to control and manipulate y'all solar plexus chakras. Y'all have every right to enforce y'all internal law. That's for y'all, just like I do for me and what I think and how I feel and what I believe. I love energy exchanges. I don't like debates. I don't do debates. I don't do arguments. I'm not trying to convince you and I'm not trying to win. That's just how I move on all facets, not just talking to strangers about topics, but also in my relationships. I don't need you to think how I think. To the side conversations are more important for me. They're helping me. Okay, good. I'm glad. I didn't understand the difference between Western astrology and Vedic. That breakdown made sense to me. Oh, cool. Good. I'm glad. I'm always glad to assist. But yeah, I'm never here to, hey, benevolent peace. I'm never here to debate, and I'm not telling y'all what to do. But what I am saying, the mastery of the solar plexus chakra is learning that the only thing you can control is yourself. You can't control other people. I talk about this with my students all the time, which is why we probably gonna have a part 2 to the planetary forecast, y'all. Sorry, not sorry, but we probably gonna end up having to have part 2 tomorrow because I gotta get up for school tomorrow. I'm a substitute teacher. But tell my students all the time because when they be doing that shit, I be like, bro, why'd you do that? Oh, she made me mad. She made me this. I'm like, wait, time out. So you allow this person to make you something. So now to behave a certain way. So now instead of looking at that person and how they controlled themselves and how they behave, now I'm looking at you and how you chose to react and you telling me they made you. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. And I know that's very triggering to a lot of people who don't really tune into their self-control. You might not like the consequences to your choices. I get that. There's some choices that I would love to make, but I'm not really interested in the consequences. But that is accountability. That is I don't know another word to put it, but that's real shit. That's real shit. Like, yo, I would love to do certain things. I would love to, exercise certain things and stuff like that, but I really don't want to experience the the consequences, that I think in my mind, because if I be real with myself, the consequences that I think in my mind, they don't even belong to me. I didn't experience that shit because I'm not doing it. So it's like the only person I can control myself, because after going through that spiral of conversation, I realized it's me. It's me telling me I can't do it. It's me creating the hypotheticals in my mind as to why I couldn't do it. It's me. It's not nobody else outside of me. It's me. Now, if I engage in those experiences and those things do happen and now I'm over here telling myself I told you so. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different conversation. We'll talk about that later. But that's still me though. I did it. I experienced it, and now I came to my own conclusion. Now I have my own law. It's not something that is outside of me anymore. Now it's mine. Now I know when I was around that lion or whatever, like that lions really do bite because that motherfucker bit me. Like, now I know for a fact, like, pit bulls are not cool. That joint attack the shit out of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't experienced that. Animals love me, and I love animals. And so, yeah, you have to know that you're in control of yourself, and you just have to have those real conversations. Like, there's certain goals that I have, there's certain dreams that I have. Like, yo, I just really want to say fuck this, put my hands up and travel. I just want to go all over the place. And it's like, but in my mind, it's like the different consequences of the things, or how my actions affect other people, or da da da. But then I'm also aware that all that shit is in my head. It's all in my head, and it's what's holding me back. And am I going to continue to allow it to do that? It has absolutely nothing to do with anything outside of myself. Self-control is the best control. So that's all on the 531. Overall, that was a day of 9. That was a day of giving birth. And you were giving birth based upon like your solar plexus chakra, that space of enforcement. Taking action on transformations, having knowledge on how you compartmentalize things was a big one too, especially because the day before we actually experienced the day at 8. So now we have knowledge on the 8. We're taking action on the 8. We're getting the downloads on the 8. We love it there. We're leaders of the 8. We're in our solar plexus chakra. So 531 was the day of 9. That was Saturn day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And then today is 619. We have officially entered the energy of 6. I'm going to give y'all the mathematics for tomorrow too, and then I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to do everything else tomorrow. I feel it. It's 1118, y'all. 1118 is an important number for me. I'll let y'all in a little something. One, I just got done talking about 18. That's one. Two, I have 2 sons. My first son was born at 11:18 at night. My second son was born at 11:18 in the morning, and my dad's birthday is 11:18. And so I don't know if my dad has Leo energy. He's a Scorpio, but that is fixed water. And me and my 2 sons have, heavy fixed fire. We got the Leo energy in us. So I found that interesting. We the ops. And what else? 11:18 adds up to 11. I'm an 11 life path number. So you got 11 9 if you add up the 1 and 8. So you got 11 9, and my birthday is 9/11. And those are all the reasons why I love 11:18, and I think about it every time I see it, and I just called it peace, peace, peace. So let's get into 619, y'all. So now we're at a 29% waxy crescent moon. We love it here. We're in the day of 1. We've made it to a brand new decan, y'all. So now we're in the first day of the first decan of the month. We're still in the energy of chaos. We're here until the 18th. Another 18. 1 is all about leadership. Cardinal energy, Ketters. You guys getting your downloads. You guys sitting here with sunshine and letting her talk your ear off, because y'all know I'll be channeling and I'll be chatting. This is my fun space. This is where my Vesta, Sun, Moon, Mercury reside. We love it here. And Mars too. And so, channeling with me, and it's fun. But you guys are getting all the knowledge, taking initiative, taking action. Hopefully you guys are organizing and scheduling yourself, just, putting that first foot forward, which we usually do. This is the month of 6. Okay, so let's chat about 6 a little bit. And then I want to get into something else. But let's get into 6 for a second. So during this entire month, guys, we are focused on the 6. What is 6, y'all? Let's talk about the Kabbalah first. 6 is Tepereth. Tepereth is the heart in the middle. This is what the new moon was pre-gaming us for. Remember, about a half hour or so ago, I was chatting about the new moon, right? And how that was setting the tone for the alignment of your mind and your heart, your gut and your heart. Even in the numbers and the conjunctions the moon was making, and all the Taurus and Gemini moon, and now the moon is over there with Jupiter. Woo-wop. You know what I'm saying? It was all about the heart. Tippereth is the heart. I know you guys seen the image of the heart that's in flames or whatever. That's Tippereth. You know what I'm saying? To get to the God, you got to go through the sun. Tippereth is ruled by Leo energy. Leo is the sun. See, that's the heart. It's the heart that's on fire, right? Confident, courageousness, creativity is key. Emotion, self. Everything rises and falls on the sun. Does it not? Your heart rate, it affects your vibration. So it's kind of like a connection between the fires, though, if you get into it, because your thoughts can put that heart rate at a certain level. Like if I'm thinking about some shit and it's making me sad, my heart rate will respond, and now my vibration, and now my body is deteriorating, and now I start feeling the chest pains. Like, why am I thinking about stuff that makes me sad? It's so crazy. This is why music is so important, because music implants thoughts through the lyrics and the vibrations that music provides. Like, I was weird when I was younger. I think I was addicted to being sad, but that's for a therapy session later, because I grew up in abuse. I grew up in some weird shit. But when I used to get sad, like, after, I was removed from the household that was abusing me and stuff like that. And now I'm in the space and I'm trying to, reacclimate myself. And, you guys, you can chill now. You don't have to be in such heavy survival mode anymore. But I used to just listen to sad shit all the time. And it didn't help that I was like around like the emo period of music and stuff like that. But I would just listen to sad music and just be sad. And I would only write music or poetry when I was sad. Like it was just like sadness all the time. I was so sad. So crazy. But now being present, I make positive affirmation music. I refuse to make a sad song. I refuse. And that is a little backstory as to why I write music the way I write it. But you got to pay attention to your vibrations. For real. This is the month of Tippereth. This is the month of paying attention to your heart. What you're doing to your heart, what you're doing to the frequencies that your heart provides to your body. We love it here. Confidence and courageousness, creativity, romantic self, Leo energy. Everything rises and falls. Okay? That's where we're at. Center me now. Everybody. It's be like New York. Everybody's a celebrity in New York. Nobody's impressing anybody because we all the sun. You understand me? Shit like that. All right? 6, and that's Tippereth. That's also Heru in the Netherus, right? Now 6 and astrology is Virgo energy. This is organization. This is not compartmentalization. That's more Sebek on the 8. But Virgo energy is about decision making. So you're in a space of a crossroads, especially as we get into the summer solstice, and now we're in this quarter, and it's a fun quarter. So either it depends on what New Year's you celebrate. Everybody's correct. I don't want to get into it, but a lot of you guys say Aries is a new year, which I, for certain reasons. But we know in the currency realm, on the Gregorian calendar, when we're talking about money, and we do live in a fiscal world, as long as we keep making the money, as long as we keep like obsessing over money and making money our God, the new year will always be in Gemini. The moment we guys stop playing this currency game with these weirdos, we can go back to Aries as a collective for real. But y'all not ready for that conversation yet, because everybody's still on that US dollar, and I'm gonna get some cryptocurrency so I can trade it into a US dollar, and I'm gonna buy some stocks, I'm gonna buy some gold, and we're buying this and we're buying that. Yeah, you guys still realize that's dollar, that's the fiat note, that's still currency exchange, right? Okay, just making sure you guys know that you're not really trying to take the chains off, you're just trying to put cushions on them, okay? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We do listen, I love some comfortable handcuffs. Okay. Let me stop. Anyway, 6 in astrology is Virgo energy. This is scheduling and organizing yourself. Okay. This is decision making, being in the crossroads. Yeah, I know I'm addicted to the crossroads. I'm the goddess of the crossroads, okay? I don't self proclaim myself for many things, but that is the one I will take. And honestly, it was God given. Maybe it was in my contract because look at my check my chart out, okay? Check the chart out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't choose the crossroads chose your girl. And so that's what six is about. Six is also about being of service, in the Virgo space too. Intellect, learning, teaching, rituals, schedules, habits, all that stuff. Analyzing, observing, school education is a thing here too. So, that's all in the six. So that's what we're dealing with. A nice connection between the head and the stars and the heart and your numbers and your body center and all that fun stuff. Okay. Six in supreme mathematics is equality. This brings back to the Virgo energy in a sense of Virgo is about harvesting, so you do reap what you sow. So being mindful of that equal energy exchange in this season is a big deal. It's a big thing. Okay, not to be taken lightly. And so that is something to keep in mind as well. So that's what we're focusing on all month of six. The whole month of six. Okay. That is what we're doing with every number that we deal with in this date. Now, if you want to get into your personal numbers during this month, what I need you to do, my love, is I need you to know what your life path number is. Wait, hold on. Let's have this conversation. Because sometimes I know what it is, but sometimes I confuse myself because I just be doing stuff. Okay. Do y'all know y'all personal year? Me too. My favorite season is cuffing season. Hey, get it, Jasmine. I like that cuffing season. Let's go. All right. So you get into your personal year by adding the day you were born. Wait, the month you were born. I said that in a weird order. The month you were born, the day you were born to number 9. Why are we adding that to number 9? Glad you asked. Because we're in the year of 9. It depends on what year you're in. Some of you guys are in 6,144. Some of you guys are in 2017. Some of you guys are in 644. Some of you guys are in different years for different reasons. Some of you guys just use the lunar calendar. Some of you guys use the solar calendar. Some of you guys use the fiscal calendar. Some of you guys use the Ethiopian calendar. Listen, wherever your mindset is at, those are your numbers, right? So you're going to add the day you were born, the month you were born to, for the sake of our conversation and the Gregorian calendar that I'm accustomed to everybody using, we're in the year 9. Now, I know 2017 is always just as common. 2017 is the year 1. So for some of you guys are, already starting a new lunar cycle. You guys completed a 1 last year, the 9 last year. For some of you guys, we're completing the 9 this year, and we're doing a 1 next year, which it seems like is especially for the fiscal calendar because that does make sense. Damn, because it is mad shit happening with the finances and the Federal Reserve and all these things getting cut and the rich people being weird, and Trump is just making some like, what the hell are you doing? I don't understand. And why is Elon Musk doing all this weird shit? Like, I don't know, it's just mad weird stuff happening in the fiscal community. Oh, it's so weird. It's like, I don't even know what kind of TV show to compare this to. I would never disrespect the Twilight Zone in this manner. I feel like it's like a Tyler Perry TV show. Oh, do you guys watch the Oval? I'm addicted. I don't know who's worse, Trump or the dude in the Oval. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. But we're in the year of 9. Let's talk about it. And then, yeah, it does seem like a year of completion and ending or whatever. And then, like, for those of you guys who use the Ethiopian calendar, which is based upon, what is that, the conception or the announcement of Christ coming. And so that puts everybody in 2017. So that's like the year of 1. And so it's kind of like, setting the framework for spirituality. And that's cool because we know Jesus was a spiritualist and an activist, and Jesus was doing the damn thing. So it's like money, spirit. You know what I'm saying? I see it. Do y'all see it? I don't know if y'all see it. I see it. Okay. So let's for the fiscal conversation, day and month, right? So then you get into your personal month. This is how you get into your personal month. This is where I was leading to. So the personal month is calculated by adding your personal year to the current month. So after you get done adding the day you were born and the month of year you were born to whatever year you're choosing, whatever, for the sake of conversation, year 9, I'll give you an example. My birthday is 9/19. So I'm adding 9/19 to the year of 9. Okay? 1 and 9 equals 1. 1 and 9 equals 1 again. And then I'm adding the 1 to 9 again. It's a lot of 1s and 9s happening for your girl. A lot of thoughts and giving birth. Thoughts and giving birth. Um, I had a joke. Please don't let me get pregnant. Jesus Christ. Keep my tubes tied, Lord. This is my year of 1. This is my year of 1, y'all. So, and it just seems like I'm in divine connection with the Ethiopian calendar versus the physical. I'm both. But yeah, so this is my personal year of 1, right? So we are in the month of 6. I just got done talking about that, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add my personal year, my year of 1, to the month of 6. So currently I'm in my personal month of 7. So I'm about to be solo dolo and lonely as fuck this month. Numerology. 7 is all about isolation and solitude, but it's for spiritual experiences. 7 is also about justice, Libra, scales, fairness. Hopefully that's in my favor and things of that. Yours is 7 too. Okay, Jasmine, thank you for following with me. So yeah, and now you're in a personal 7. 7 is Netzach, this the celestial designer making things beautiful. 7 is associated with the Libra scales. 7 is associated with Venusian energy. Heru is the energy as far as the Netarus go on the number 7, and then 7 is God and supreme mathematics. So spiritual experiences making things pretty and coming to justice, heavy on the 7s, right? And then personal days. Now today's the first of the month, right? So we know I'm in my personal month of 7, right? So personal days are calculated by adding the day to the personal month. So today's a day of 8 for me. Navigate transformations, death and rebirth, empowerment, my solar plexus chakra, how I'm expressing it, enforcing it. And I think I did a good job today. I think I did. I did do a good job today. Sis, you doing a good. And you know what? I felt that that makes me feel even better because I was actually supposed to be outside and being all like social this weekend, and I just was not feeling it. And it was getting to the point where I was like getting mad at myself, like, yo, I'm gonna be so hot at you if you don't just like be in isolation this weekend. Like, please just like say no. Like, you have stuff to do. And I did. I have a lot of stuff to do this weekend, and I got majority of it done. I'm so proud of myself. Most of the time sensitive stuff got done, and I'm very proud of myself. Um, but yeah, so yeah, the fact that yesterday was a day of 7 for me, which Jasmine, I'm assuming that that was a day of 7 for you yesterday, Saturn day, going inward and being in isolation. Were you by yourself yesterday, Jasmine? What were you doing on the 7 on a day of 7 yesterday? But today was definitely a day of, transformations and rebirth and, things of that nature. I don't, but 8 is also the number of standing on business too. And I think I stood on business today. I think I was doing the things today. I really was though. Okay, I love here. I love hindsight conversations to myself. I do that a lot. Um, but yeah. So moving forward, that's how you guys go. So if you guys are going to stay in tune with me for the daily mathematics and stuff like that, as I'm going through the numbers as a collective, you go through your personal numbers. If you have any questions, y'all know I love when y'all ask me questions in the comments. I will answer them, of course. And I will also tell you how your personal number aligns with the number of the collective or how it might clash or whatever the fuck. Like, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? Okay. So that's where we're at. All right. My experience is actively. Okay, cool. We in alignment, girl. We probably be having similar days. Don't even know it. That's why you here. So yeah, that's what's happening there, and that's how you do your personal. So like, let's get back to the collective. So we added the 6 on the day of 1. It brought us to the 7. I already went through the 7 heavy, and so of course we're in the year of 9. So we're gonna give birth to it. We're gonna give birth to the 7, and it's gonna bring us back to the 1 and 6 instead of So it's bringing us back to the knowledge, the intellect, taking action on the Tippereth, the 6. How do you feel? You know, where's your level of confidence, courageousness? You know, 6 also dealing with the Virgo energy, organizing yourself, intellect, learning some things, being of service, reaping what you sow, all those different things like that. Overall, today for the collective was a day of 7. Oh, we be ahead of time because we're already day in 8 and ain't a day of 7. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, okay. I'm in the future. But collectively it was a day of 7. It was, so today was a great day for the 7 life pathers of being in isolation, going inward, doing the things. Spirituality is heavy here on the 7. You guys go blow some stuff out your front door, all that fun stuff. Setting your candles, doing your rituals to set the tone for the month. For me, you guys know what I do to set the tone for the first of the month. So everybody's lighting candles and sage and stuff like that. I pull out my to-do list. I'm such a Virgo, y'all. I pull out my to-do list. I schedule myself, my agenda. I take I'm big, so how do I spoil myself? Everybody has different ways how they spoil themselves. I spoil myself with soaps and shea butters and stuff. And so I take the best bath. It's probably not the best bath of the month. Let's not get carried away. But because I be taking some bomb ass showers and baths. But I do put special attention. We're gonna use 4 soaps today, girl. We got a 4-course shower. And I have 3 or 4 different shea butters that I use on different parts of my body, and it's a great time here. I have a specific shea butter, no, I actually use coconut oil. I only put coconut oil on my face and my upper body because I break out easily if I do anything else. Sometimes I might slip up, and I might go out of order. Do you guys have an order that you put stuff on your body? I try to remember to do this part first because if I use my other shea butter that has a perfumey thing in there, da, da, da. But anyway, this is me telling y'all 7. Start it off. Internal. Let's go. Anyway, y'all have y'all rituals, y'all spiritual rituals. Do your thing. 1, 4s, and 7s. You guys probably flourish the most on this day because you guys are really good at going inward and being a leader and kind of self-reliant, independent, and stuff like that. So that probably worked. Today probably was oh, it's a good day for me, unless you guys were going against your natural introverted independent self. And you put your hand up. Okay, cool. Unless you guys go against yourself and you guys decide to go outside anyway and had an awful time. But be mindful of that. Now my 3, 6, and 9s, you guys love companionship. 2s too. Y'all love companionship, going outward, pushing outward. So sometimes when we're dealing with days of 1, 4s, and 7s, and even days of 8s, it could be a little difficult for you. Because it's just ooh, I gotta go inward, and if you guys go against the grain, it'll be different events and energy exchanges that will push you away. And for my 3s, you guys take everything emotionally. So dealing with a day of 1, 4, and 7 is usually a depressant, if you will, if you guys aren't aware. Now, for those of you guys who are aware, by all means, do it like this. But yeah, we were in the day of 7. We start the day off at a 29% waxing crescent moon rising at 11:09 a.m. and setting at 12:49 a.m. We're in Leo now, so tropically, the zodiac, the moon was in Leo. Draconic, we are also in Leo, so mind and soul experience of our emotions, our sense of belonging is in that Tippereth energy, being confident, courageous, definitely setting the tone. Now, Vedic, what's happening here? The moon is in Cancer, which is cool because we started off the month with the moon is in his home space. When I tell you we're setting the tone about how do you feel, where's your emotions? I cried today, and I do be crying. Yo, I cried today. That's crazy. You know how long I've been trying to get myself to cry? I'm trying to get myself to cry for months. Why aren't we crying? It's mad crazy shit going on in your life, bitch. Shed a tear. Be regular. I cried today, so now I know why. And so the moon is in Cancer. It's all happening in the 7th house in alignment with the numerology of 7. But 7 deals with your interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts, all that fun stuff. Law, justice, and order. And so we were at a 23 degree in Cancer. So talking about the nakshatra or the lunar mansion that the moon is in, being in its home place. We are in the ninth lunar mansion, the Aslesha nakshatra. Some positive traits about this nakshatra is positive. And like I said, nakshatras, so you have the Vedic. I did too. You was crying too? Yeah, it was random. It wasn't even like a, I don't know. It was kind of like finally crying about stuff that I should have been crying about. Like, why am I just not crying about this? And then when I got done crying, I felt not dumb, but I felt like, dang, like I finally cried, but I feel like I'm getting to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even feel like I'm in the middle of this shit anymore to be crying about it right now the way I am. It's so crazy. Oh, that's why that dude called me and irritated my spirit so much. There's this guy. I just like, I hate to hear his voice. Why are you calling me for? Can't wait to be done with this chapter in my life so I don't have to talk to certain people anymore. I cried because I saw the Water Boys of Atlanta have full support now instead of people locking them up to functioning without a business license at the beginning. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's love. That's something to cry about. That's love. That's beautiful. Right. Why not educate? Why are we? Well, I know why they be such in a tiffy to lock people up. Cause if I can't have slaves no more, well, I can have slaves. You have to commit a crime, and then I can make you my slave again. So I'm about to make everything illegal, so you guys can be my slaves again. But yeah, I love that. That's big progress because a lot of people don't have business knowledge to be able to do that. That's a big deal. But as far as this lunar mansion, we're in a ninth lunar mansion. Some positive traits is being familial, intelligent, philosophical, independent, mystical, and entertaining. Some negative traits on the moon being dark, impolite, depressed, reckless, or temperamental and ungrateful. I might have been ungrateful. I used that word in my head today. But in the same breath, it's just like I really can't stand when people do me favors and it's attached to a whole bunch of nonsense. Like, bro, why are you like this? Like, if you didn't want to do it, you could have just said no, and I would have figured it out. I don't want to deal with all this extra shit. Anyway, sunrise 5:32 a.m. Sunset at 8:22 p.m. Okay. As far as the sun goes, tropically, which is our mindset and our experience, because now the sun is our what? The sun is our experience, right? And the zodiac is the how, or the energy that the sun is in is how are we expressing it. Okay. And then we get into the house. Now we're dealing, what area in the life is this what being expressed. Okay. So the sun, our experience. Tropically is our thought process. Vedically is the events, which is why Vedic seems so more accurate. And then draconic is our spiritual experience, our spiritual self, our auric body, which usually moves a lot faster than anything else because our aura is big. It's already in a different town, a city, meeting other people that our body didn't catch up to, that our mind doesn't even know about yet. We might dream it, and then our body catches up. Now we're having deja vu, or we're automatically getting along with a bunch of people. It's fun here. We love it. Okay. Um, so tropically, in our experiences, we're in Gemini. Okay. And then draconic, so mind and soul is an alignment in the Gemini, being focused and flexible at the same time, community and communication, intellect, things of that nature, right? And events is in Taurus. We're still having that balance between wealth, business, emotions, forgiveness, what we value, possessions, what we possess, how we obtain and maintain our possessions, and how we value them, like order of, I value things more than my emotions. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna keep taking the things away until you find a balance. Okay, and that's what it is about with Taurus energy. Or some Taurians value how they feel more over the physical realm. And it's like, okay, well, we're gonna create an imbalance so you figure that out. And that's the same way how it is, like Taurus is associated with the heart, right? Same thing how it is with your heart. if you're more in, if you're not paying attention to how you feel and you're just going through life, you start to get illnesses and ailments. You're not paying attention. But if you're all so sucked into how you feel all the time, you kind of lose sight of the world around you. You become one of those people that's like scared to go outside and stuff like that. Like me, I'm still a little scared to go outside. I ain't gonna hold you. I get a little anxiety. I have to like mentally prepare myself to go outside. And I know I'm pissing some people off that like to move last minute and make last minute plans, but I can't do it. You guys know I'm still like mentally recovering from getting hit by a car. Okay, like chill on me for a second. Yup, turned down the money on yesterday that was attached to the bullshit. Listen, so a lot of different things have been happening to me in my life. Saturn is trying to exit my life out of in a bang. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my last little bit of Saturn return. Now Saturn is in my draconic placement. So now we're having spiritual exercises. So had a house fire back in November, and I had a dog, and I'm having the hardest time keeping my dog. It's like I'm fighting for my life to keep my dog, and that's what I was crying about today, because the guy that has my dog called me, and it's something about his energy that really really bothers me. Like I really don't like him. I haven't liked him since before my house fire happened, but my siblings like him, and during the fire it was my siblings that had the dog, and it was like, yo, can you put the dog in your house? And he took it, and he's just had the dog ever since. So now I'm the person, now it's my responsibility. And it's like, bro, well, who gave my dog to this guy in the beginning with? Then just like, well, go get your dog. Well, how am I gonna get my dog? I don't have a place to live, my house caught on fire. Like, and I'm having the hardest time finding a place to live. And so, this guy has been utilizing the fact that he has my dog as a means to be in my phone all times of day and night. And I had to put boundaries to that. I don't like you. I'm not going to tell you I don't like you as a person, because a part of me feels like you're doing weird shit to my dog, because my dog has been sick constantly. I have had to pay for hospital bills, which are not cheap. And I'm like, why am I paying for hospital bills when I'm homeless? Like, the fuck is wrong? Like, bro, like, what are you doing? It's just like whenever like I don't pay attention to his advances, him flirting with me and stuff like that, now my dog is sick. Now something happened to my dog. And it's weird and it's pissing me off. So once again, that's what's happening. He called me to let me know that my dog isn't eating and he's getting skinny and he has better things to do than worry about a damn dog. And I was like, wow, okay. I don't fucking like you. Like that's what I said in my head. I didn't say it out loud. But I've never liked this guy. And like the more I'm like stuck in this interaction, the more I see like I'm starting to see like, yeah, this is why I always felt this way about you. And every time you came around my house to talk to my siblings, I would just automatically go in the house. Like, I don't want to be around you at all. I got my car riding my bicycle a few years back. No last minute, nothing. Listen, I was crossing the street, and this lady ran over my leg. And I have a rod in my leg. And it's painful. Like, it was a couple years ago. It happened on Halloween. So this October will be my 3rd year. I have permanent nerve damage in my leg. I feel pain in the cold, which is why New Jersey's weather is really pissing me off, because I'm tired of being in pain. It's very heavy. And I want to move because I can't afford to live here. All the apartments that used to be like $900, $1,000 a month, they're like 2,500. Why? What the fuck? How am I supposed to do that? Like, y'all do not pay nobody that much money. It's so crazy out here. Like, this has been the longest winter ever. I swear to God, it's been the longest winter ever for your girl. But I still show up here with y'all because I love y'all. I love it here. I literally love it here. This shit keeps me from like losing my fucking head. Anyway, let's get into it. Moon and Mars are in conjunction. They were in conjunction today. That happened this morning at 5:50 a.m. The moon was zero point 0.6 degrees north. Minimal angle at 5:58 a.m. The moon was 0.6 degrees north. And we were able to observe that at 12:28 a.m. with a 3.8 degree west-northwest separation. Now, Mars is all about the solar plexus chakra. Again, coming back to how the new moon prepared us and had us pre-gaming for this energy, because now we're dealing with our emotions and how we're enforcing our emotions, because Mars is the celestial enforcer. That's the solar plexus chakra ruler. The moon is the third eye ruler, but the moon is also the ruler of the womb, our emotions. You know what I'm saying? So we have that connectivity there. They don't really get along. I don't know if you guys know that, because Mars is about that action and the moon is about going inward and being more nurturing. So the key there is pulling the magician card. right? Because you can fall underneath that and allow your emotions to debilitate your Mars, or you can allow um your emotions to like make Mars kind of become, especially if you have an air moon that could like feed the Mars to be like all over the place and kind of like, trying to control everything around you, being mean, being violent, demanding, you know what I'm saying, rash and all that stuff like that. So again, pull the magician card and find a way that they can blend in with each other and get along. And you guys should have had a lot of exercise with that, with Mars being in Cancer for so long. I believe Mars is still in Cancer constellation, but we are now in the Leo zodiac. So Mars is debilitated in Cancer for the same reason. Cancer is about going inward and nurturing, while Mars wants to go outward and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? But learning how to blend them together, you might learn how to nurture your solar plexus chakra, nurture the things that trigger you, that get you going. You know what I'm saying? Be more like empathetic, sympathetic. Just be more in tune. You know what I'm saying? When you pull the magician card. Also, Venus is at its longest elongation, angular distance to the sun at 11:14 p.m. The that that was a few minutes ago. Best visible before sunrise around 5 a.m. in the Pisces constellation. The moon in Regulus conjunction at 10:52 p.m. The moon is zero point 0.9 degrees north. Minimal angle at 11:49 p.m. The moon is zero point 0.8 degrees north northeast and is visible at those respective times. So Regulus is a star in the Leo constellation. Regulus is a star of riches and glory and all those things. So that was also about an hour ago. So we're still kind of in that EMF of it. If you guys, I'm about to let y'all go. I promise I'm about to let y'all go. But that's the EMF of it, that if you guys want to channel that energy and put your heart into the things that you deserve and desire and stuff like that. I will say like 10:52 I was here with you, but I got started at 10. So yeah, my son is a Leo and he asked me for a reading. So that's like a nice like moon and regulars type of vibe. My son don't ask me for readings too often, but when he do, I be like, ooh, let me get my card. He's that's my 18-year-old. So that's the thing. That's the connection, because we're personifications of the stars and constellations too. You know what I'm saying? It's not, oh, yeah, it is you going inward and you playing with your own energies, but like I'll give you an example. I know when a Scorpio comes into my life, oh, you're about to put me in a situation where I have to learn how to enforce my solar plexus chakra in some type of way, shape, or form. It's something about Scorpios, like I have to learn how to stand up for myself here. Otherwise, you're gonna keep doing weird shit in my space. And I've experienced that with every Scorpio in my life. Everyone, even my dad. Okay, you gotta learn how to like enforce your internal law in those spaces and stand up. Like for me, that's what when I meet a Scorpio, I'm like, Lord, what character development am I about to go through? Like, what am I not doing or not, being empowered by in this moment? Because you definitely about to come into my life and do some weird shit. Um, you know, when I'm when I meet a Gemini, I know that I'm about to engage in like 20 different activities real quick, but we're about to have a great intellectual conversation. Okay. Same thing with Virgo. When I'm around a Pisces, I know I'm about to, be nurtured, but also be irritated because I like to be like, and they like to be all over the place. I married one baby. Yes, you do. Right. Um, so that's so we are the personifications, like, and I'm only explaining the sun sign because the sun is the experiences. So when you see somebody with their sun sign, it's like, this is the kind of experience I'm about to give you. You know what I'm saying? Now their moon sign is, this is how I'm about to nurture you. Their Mercury is, this is how I'm about to communicate with you, or this is some along the lines what you about to learn from me. Again, but you can get even deeper and go into the houses. The houses is what part of your life is this about to be in. Because some people got a Scorpio, that Scorpio is in the third house. So communication is how I'm about to provide your information in your life. Some people have, Scorpio in the second house. I'm about to empower you in your space of what you value in business and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You guys see where I'm going with this, right? And that's it. And I'm also slowly giving you guys keys on how to align yourself in synastry chart readings, so you guys can do your own synastry chart readings too. I'm all about empowerment and enlightenment. So that is a great way to read other people's charts. If you meet a new person, you want to do business with somebody, da da da. Business, lineups. I don't know why I'm saying this. Somebody came in here, y'all trying to do business partnerships. Focus on people's, sun is experience, definitely. We always focus on sun. It's very important. But decision making skills is Mercury. That's a big one. Venus is what you value and prioritize. If we don't have the same values and priorities, or yours is kind of undermining mine or squaring mine, we need to talk about it. We need to be in conjunction. We need to be in opposition. Opposition is fun too. Opposition is very powerful. Um, but conjunction, sextile, minimal angle, those are great. Square, we have to have a conversation. We have to have a conversation. And we have to communicate. Okay. Um, Venus, I said what you prioritize. Jupiter is business long term. How long are we going to be able to stay in business here? Saturn is their discipline. Some people are really laxed. Mars is their attitude. Okay? So, you do with that will. Okay? Pluto is cool too. Now, Pluto is more generational. If you are around my age, I know for a fact your Pluto's in Scorpio. Okay? If you're a little bit older than me, your Pluto is most likely in Libra, right? I think my mom's Pluto was in Libra, and she had me when she was like 15, 16. So, it's kind of like an every 18 to 20 year, situation. So, you could do the math with that how you will too. But like combined Scorpio, Pluto placements is very heavy. Now, because that's generational, I meet a lot of people that have Pluto and Scorpio. Now we got to get into the houses, okay? Because what part of the life is your Scorpio in versus what part of my Scorpio is in matters. Degrees bring you into the numerology. That's how you get really into detail. And then if you really want to pick, because I'm a Virgo, I like to overanalyze, you get into aspects. What's the matter? What's the matter?
I was gonna ask you what you were gonna name a magician, but it's too late.
You already named it?
Yeah.
What you name it?
Mr. Azarus.
Azarus? I like it. Because he got the A to the Z.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also his color is blue and yellow. So the search for imagining the gathering names is apparently sun and water makes Azarus.
Okay. I like that. Azarus. Now I gotta get me a goldfish and name it Azarus. But yes, that's all in alignment with that. How did we get here? Let me see. How did we get here? Oh, we got here from Moon and Regulus, and then I started going on a tangent. Um, the fortune. Uh, the fortune is in Scorpio. Speaking of Scorpio, it's at a 28-degree Scorpio on the MC line. So we're at a success. If you got so my tangent on Scorpio energy was actually really important. Okay, cool. We'll say that. It's in opposition with Taurus, which was at a 28. I mean Uranus, which is the progressive pushes that we need in our space to keep us moving on the Taurus IC line, which is our line of home and family and sense of belonging. So we have the progressive pushes, and what we prioritize and value in our home and family, and what we I think you read me already. I think so too. I'm not sure. I probably did. I do keep my thing. So it depends on what part of my journey you got a reading in, cuz I've transformed how I do it a lot over the years. So the fortune being in opposition with Uranus, flowing into those progressive pushes that are showing you what to prioritize, what to value, the facets of love and stuff like that. Allowing fortune to provide transformations in that space and stuff. That's pretty cool. That's a good line for my business peoples. Also, there's a triangle happening with Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius, 9 degrees Capricorn constellation in the 12th house, which is endings, the house of endings and completion. That's the Pisces house. Anything hidden beneath the horizon, your subconscious, dreams, secrets, all that fun stuff. Um, Uranus, the progressive pushes at the IC line, the fourth house of home and family, which was also at a 3 degrees Taurus. And then at the top of the triangle, the point is Saturn, the challenges in our space that give us the discipline and the order that we need, survival of self, basic resources, authority itself. Who's your authority? Is it you, or is it people, places, things, situations outside of you? You know what I'm saying? That was the triangle. Saturn was at the top, where you had Pluto and Uranus at the base. So your empowerment self, your progressive pushes is putting you towards them challenges and the discipline order you come towards those challenges. And that's really important because that root chakra, and y'all all know, especially people who had to do root work, people that had to heal from stuff and they had to get to the root of the issue, people, breaking generational curses, familial curses, curses at their job, curses within self and your own DNA from your different lives, all that stuff like that. Y'all all know y'all all got to get to the root of it all. So, having these progressive pushes and transformations going towards that Saturn energy is big. Big, 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 big. And hopefully that is providing a lot of healing. I think that's in divine alignment with what you were saying, Jasmine, about, you know, that situation with the guys getting support instead of arrested. That is a really big, transformation and progressive push towards that Saturn, that discipline and order, authority and the challenges. I think that's a nice, example on that one. And Saturn is in the second house. It's in that Taurus house of what we value and prioritize. Venus is at dichotomy. We talked about this. Dichotomy means half phase. So we experienced that too. Um, Now I'll pregame you guys for tomorrow because I love you guys. So let me pregame you guys for tomorrow's mathematics. Well, today it's officially 12:01 over here in the East Coast, baby. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy day of the moon. I, for one, think that we should not start if we're gonna do like a work week with for linguistic purposes I'm not a fan of. But if we're gonna do the thing, why don't we do it on a Tuesday? Like Tuesday is the day of the solar plexus chakra. We're like ready to go. But a moon day, we're supposed to be going inward and being in our emotions and da 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 da. Like Sunday is cool, but Sunday is more about vitality. It's not really about like exerting myself. So I don't know. But anyway, that's the day of 629, right? So now we're in our day of wisdom. We got knowledge on Sunday because y'all sat here with sunshine for almost 2 hours and y'all had y'all pens and papers out, and now y'all know how to do y'all personal numbers while I'm doing the mathematics. Y'all know how to do some synastry chart readings. Y'all know how to read yourself. We love it here, right? You guys basically took a pregame of my energy awareness course because my energy awareness course is a little bit more involved, but you guys just got a little piece of it. Did you enjoy? Yeah. Okay. Um, but now we're in the day of wisdom. So you guys are gonna be called to exercise some of the knowledge you guys gained today. And that's cool. We love that. I love that for you guys. Exercise it. Come into your wisdom. Pay attention to your chokma, your Jupiter space, right? 2 deals with balance, harmony, and justice. 2 deals with Mayat too. Now I know Mayat is dealt with the fourth Sephira, but when we deal with numbers, the number 2 deals with the scales. It sure is. Happy Moon Day. Yes, happy Moon Day. And so 2 deals with the Taurus energy, what we value and prioritize, a balance between the material world and the emotional self. Facets of forgiveness, different facets of love. 2 in like I said, it was Chokma, that's Jupiter. Obatala energy, wisdom, and supreme mathematics. 2 and 2, right? Interpersonal relationships. We take the 2 and we're gonna put in our Tippereth, right? Told you we're in the whole month of Tippereth. This is all about our heart, how our heart is vibrating on the 2. Pay attention to how you feel at all times. How you feel is so important this month. I promise you, your feelings, if you're not paying attention to this, your feelings all this month, I promise you, your feelings are going to come back with I told you so. And I don't know if y'all internal voices are as petty as mine, but they will say, I told you so for a whole week straight. Told you so. Remember I told you so? But I did tell you to do that, didn't I? And I'm like, bro, like, let's chill. Why are you like this to me? I'm you. Why are you treating me like this? But when we put the Tippereth on the 2, it brings us to 8. Now we're in a space of transformation, right? Sebek. Now we're in that, that hot Mercurian energy. We're labeling and compartmentalizing things. We're coming into our celestial technician. We're organizing, and this all comes from like I said, we got the knowledge today. We're exercising the knowledge. Now we're gonna stand on business with it with the 8. We're gonna be empowered with it. We're expressing it. We're exerting it in our space, right? So now we're gonna take that 8 and we're gonna give birth to it. We want to give birth to, the transformations. We want to give birth to the empowerment. We want to give birth to the how we compartmentalize and schedule and organize things and analyze things in our space, our intellectual self. We want to do all of that. So we do that on the 9. When we put it the 8 to the 9, the thing with being in the year 9, the 9 is never going to give you that exact number back, but it will give you that number back, right? It's like, oh, you want to give birth to this 8? Okay, cool. Let me show you how to give birth to it. I'm not going to give you the 8. You're going to work for it a little bit. I'll give you the 8 back in a 1 and 7. How about that? So now you have to have knowledge of the 7 to get back to that 8. I gave you the 8 back, but it's a little weird. I'm going to give you a little advice what you got to do to give birth to that 8 for real, for real. So now we have the knowledge and the intellect on that internal energy, that God, right? Um, that's pretty cool. Yeah. 7 is the celestial designer, taking action on what we design in our space. Having knowledge on our godly self, because in supreme mathematics, 1 is knowledge, 7 is God. And the Kabbalah, 1 is the Ketters, Aquarian energy, 7 is Netzach, Venusian energy. In astrology, 1 is Aries, taking action, initiative, being a cardinal leadership energy. 7 is Libra scales, law, justice, truth, and righteousness. I see a little bit of militant action happening there for those people that are like really controlled under the stars, because you got the military, you got the enforcers, you got, being rash and volatile, with the 1, and then 7 being about law. You know what I'm saying? And who walking around acting like they law? Listen, I'll talk about that on a different day because I don't feel like being banned some places. I got some words because I seen some weird shit happen. Anyway, but we got that. So overall, the moon day is a day of 8. It's a day of transformation, death, and rebirth. It's a day of Sebek, celestial organization. It's a day of Had, which is splendor, and we love it here. We love the Mercurian 8. We love the Scorpius 8. Love the 8s. Astrologically speaking, hey Dimitri, we start the day off with a 39% waxing crescent moon, moon rising at 12:15 p.m. and setting at 11:50 a.m. We're in Virgo now. This is a Virgo moon. Oh, in alignment with the Sebek energy. I love Virgo moons. Y'all know I'm a Virgo moon. I love it here. We start the day off with a 0-degree Virgo moon. Hey, we're in Virgo on the tropical and Vedic chart. So how we think things are and our auric body is on that organization and compartmentalization and stuff like that when it comes to, the moon, which is our what. And the what is our sense of belonging, home and family, our feminine energy, our introspection and intuition. Excuse me, guys. And in our experiences, the moon is in Leo. So Leo is all about confidence and courageousness, bringing us into the super of energy, nothing too crazy. But Leo is about being romantic, being artistic, thespianism. Be mindful of the over dramatics. Sometimes it's not that serious. Sometimes it's you doing the most, especially with that Virgo energy that can, overthink it. And now Leo is over expressing it. And all that's happening in the 7th house of balance. So peace to the gods. As far as the nakshatra that 6-degree Leo is in, it's you see how I keep all my notes in the little thingy because I wrote this years ago, so I keep them in. I have like all of these in it, and every now and then I go in my binder and I just keep some out of it for comfort purposes. Where are we at? I said a 6-degree Leo, right? We are in the 10th lunar mansion, which is the Maga Nakshatra. We're here till we get to 13 degrees Leo. Some positive traits of this lunar mansion is being intelligent, helping the less fortunate, wealthy, good with business, parents, enjoying parties. Some negative traits is being hot-tempered, arrogant, resentful, sensual, and cruel. Remember I said be mindful of the over-dramatics because you might be expressing them overly dramatically, okay? Sunrise at 5:31 a.m., sunset at 8:23 p.m. Mind and spirit is in Gemini still. Tropically, we're at 11 degrees, so mastering the being flexible and focused. And guess what degree we're at on the draconic chart on our auric body? 18. It just keeps popping up. We love it here. Which is 9. And then as far as the Vedic, our experiences are still in Taurus energy. So I don't know if you guys feel the pull on that, right? Because our mind is in air. Our mind is in mutable air. So it's all over the place. It's moving very fast. How we think things are, how we're thinking, um, how we're, putting things together, how we're organizing, everything's moving fast, fast, fast in our mind. However, in the physical reality, in the events of things, everything is moving a whole lot slower than our thoughts. And that can get a little frustrating because it's like, okay, like I thought about it already. Like it keeps playing in my head. Like I'm really ready to get to this day of the week because I want this thought out of my head. I want this to happen. I'm imagining this. I'm imagining that. Da 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 da. And it's like the time is like slowly steady. It's only Monday. Like, and you're like, damn, I thought it was Wednesday. Oh, like it's a lot of that happening. And so we have the lineup, and then we'll go into, then y'all guys are really gonna be losing your mind because we'll be mentally in Cancer. So we'll be, it is like a cardinal water. So it's a leader. However, water moves slower than air. So Vedically, now we're moving fast, but our mind is a little bit slower and more introverted and more nurturing, where our body is like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So please take this time to really like focus your mind, because when we get Vedically into Gemini and it's time to take action on the Gemini thoughts that you had this whole time, I promise you're gonna wish you would have took this time to be focused instead of all over the place and rushing it. um Gemini energy is about showing you options. We don't want to get too caught up in the speed of it. uh Pallas is stationary today and it begins its retrograde motion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pallas, but Pallas is an asteroid that rules over your genius like qualities that you like to overlook about yourself. And you don't really, you'd be like, oh, stop it, I'm not really that good at that, and it represents our talents in the arts, wisdom and defense, intuition, justice, and artisan endeavor. See, another of my little notebooks. um you are a master of negotiation, shows relationship with father, and how you treat men in general shows the battle you choose and how you fight them. Palace shows how we battle with conflict, legal battles, and injustice, which we see a lot of that happening. In these stars, celebrity stars or whatever. Um, a lot of like the legal battles, and a lot of them are starting to slow down because now we're repeating degrees, so you might see some repetitions of certain things. Struggling with illness and immune system, how we focus and strategize, find patterns and inventive solutions to tricky situations is also associated with palettes. How we go too far and may cause damage and learn our lesson. Where our divine spark of creative intelligence and higher wisdom may spring forth, and revealing our natural strengths in problem solving, strategy, and defense. So that's all Palace energy. And it will be going retrograde at 2:31 a.m. So we got a couple more hours of it going forward. Oh my god. The first quarter moon is also at 11:42 p.m. tonight. This moon will be best visible after sunset, so we'll be moving from waxing crescent to waxing gibbous. So this whole time we've been working on building intangible things, because that's what the crescent moon is about: intangible things, mindset, behavior, emotions. And so now we're about to start moving into physical things in our space, based upon like how well we've been moving toward with our mindset, behaviors, and emotions. Um I stopped trying to remember the days because of that. I just ask other people to stay on track, right? Y'all got it. Y'all know I'm gonna show up. That's all y'all need to know. We have a triangle in the sky today, with Chiron and Aries. Chiron represents how we transmute our wounds into strengths. That's in the space of new beginnings, in the second house of the Taurus house, possessions and value. Um, so new beginnings in Arcturian's places. A lot of things you guys were valuing. Y'all connections to different physical things, y'all connections to different emotional things will probably create a transformation, but it definitely will be based upon the healing of your wounds. So we all got to do the work, like me sitting here crying and shit. Um, the moon is at 0 degrees Virgo in the seventh house. Or there's two different triangles we can make. We can also make Mars at 21 degrees Leo in the seventh house. So you can either use the moon or you can use Mars. It's up to you. As the other base. And then at the top of the triangle we have Jupiter. So Jupiter's expansion and abundance and joy and generosity and philanthropy and all that stuff is being supported by how you transmute your wounds in that place of possessions, how you feel, and your belonging and your rituals, routine, and that place of law, justice, and truth. Or if you want to use Mars, your motivation, um in Leo, which is your confidence and courageousness, and that seventh house of balance, law, justice, and truth. And Jupiter is in Gemini, so expansion and abundance. Jupiter and Gemini can be kind of dangerous because you know Jupiter is like fire, and then Gemini is like air, and we know what air does to fire, it gets it life and makes it bigger. Jupiter is about being, going across boundaries, and we're just out here. Chokma does not have limitations. It's Bina, Saturn that has the limitations. Jupiter is just out here. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you get to a certain level of spirituality, it's no more like right or wrong, this or that. It's no more binary, but then you also get out of just all labeling. You know what I'm saying? It just is. And that's where a lot of dialogue, like dialogue turns into to debates, because you guys have people that are communicating from a space of limitation and boundaries, and then people coming from that space of Jupiter of expansion and abundance, and it's infinite. Jupiter is very infinite. um so being mindful of that when you guys are engaging in certain conversations. We're talking about apples and oranges sometimes. Gemini, Jupiter, I think that's the fifth house. I wrote it so small. That looks like a five. So fifth house is actually the Leo house. So it's going towards our Tippereth, that expansion and abundance and our intellect, our community, our communication towards our, dramatic self. Our fifth house also deals with father, paternal connections, you know, masculine connections. It also deals with the inner child as well. So big things happening there. Maybe some expansion in like community with the children or with the fathers, or even in education department, you know, some type of something happening there. The Great Globular Cluster Hercules is at its highest point in the sky for my sky watchers, my telescopers out there, and that's in the Hercules constellation. And so that's what I have for you for the mathematics, the astrological, astronomical, numerological thing. Again, we're going to do the forecast tomorrow when I talk to you guys about the new moon to new moon transition. So we definitely will do that tomorrow. I got to let y'all go. But before I let y'all go, let me give y'all tarot spread for tomorrow or today. Kava kava is the herb. All the herbs on these cards are good for your mental health. TikTok, you can't see me because the background is beat my ass. But this is about community. Scott done saying community and communication. I really like the images. Everybody's like hanging around, having a good time. The number that we have up here is 48. Our chesed and transformations, empowerment. 4 and 8 come together and make 1 and 2, knowledge and wisdom. That comes in the 3, understanding. The planet that you want to focus on today is Pluto and the moon. Nurturing your solar plexus chakra, having insight and intuition on the transformations happening. We have pulled the reverse magician card. Some of you guys don't know. You are the one. So move like it. And then I like that he has a figure 8 above his head. But he's trying to move, utilizing all the elements and doing the things. But he looks a little sad about it. He's not utilizing all the elements. His back is turned to the earth. He's looking all sad at the cup of the water. I've he has the wand in his hand and he's not really paying attention to that too much either. The fire is on the side of it, but like, are we really paying attention? We don't know. So there's like a sense of like, I don't know, I'm the magician. I don't know that I'm in charge. I don't know. And I want you guys to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? When you walk in your authenticity and your power, that's when you attract the community that's going to support that. But if you don't, you won't. We also have the Six of Swords, basically what I just said. The Six of Swords is about moving towards where you're going to be valued and prioritized. 6 also deals with that Tippereth energy. 6 also deals with Virgo, compartmentalizing. We're in this Virgo moon. You know what I'm saying? This is a perfect opportunity for you guys, Virgo energy is ruled by a Legua. Then now we're in the space of invocation. What kind of community do you want? That's also associated with Gemini energy. What kind of community do you want? What do you want to invoke? Well, you have to invoke it in yourself. If I want to be around a bunch of soccer players, I can't not know about soccer. I can't not care about soccer. This is these people's lives. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking crazy out there hanging out with them. It's not going to be fun. If I want to hang around party people, I have to be a party person. I can't be the person that I am right now that likes to sit here and force my kids to play board games with me. I have to be that kind of person that wants to go out and and party. Otherwise, I might ruin their fun, or they might ruin what I think is fun. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the sixth house is about. You see them all rowing the boat together, but they're rowing the boat to where things are going to be good. It's going to be where we want it to be, how we want it to be, where we're going to be valued, everybody servicing each other, helping each other. It's all in the sixes, right? And this is swords. So we're in our intellect and the Gemini energy with it. Now, what parts of self do we need to focus on? Glad you asked. I pulled a Six of Wands, more Virgo energy, more Tippereth, more fire. Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo, which is cool because that's where my Jupiter is at. But it's the expansion and abundance, and that Tippereth, you know what I'm saying, and that joy. And Tippereth is actually, so when I was talking about the tree of life and the Sephiros, this is what I was talking about. This is Tippereth. You guys on YouTube, this is the tree of life I was talking about. This is Tippereth. And if you notice, Tippereth is connected to all of the Sephiros. All these little lines that you see in between the circles are the Hebrew alphabet. There are 22 letters here. And when we were reading Sefer Yetzirah together, we were getting into depth with that, which we will get back to. I apologize. Life is lifing on your girl. Give me grace. This is the ketters I was chatting about at the top, the one. And you see the line going across, because then you start to get into the other pleromas, or the other, where we get into angels and all those things. And then 10 is down here. This is Malkuth. This is Earth. This is Yesod down here, the divine womb. You know what I'm saying? So then we have the lineup of, Chokmah 2, Chesed 4, Netzach 7. Then we have the lineup here of Bina, our understanding. That makes the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding here at the top of our head that I was telling y'all about. And then we go into, the Chokmah of creating our internal law. And then we go into 5 of Jabora. That's Aries energy. That's the enforcement of the internal law. Then we go into 6, Tippereth. That's our confidence and courageousness in our heart from the combination of these upper, Tippereth is also the middle between our upper Sephiros and the lower that we're about to get into. Then we get into 7, the celestial designer, making things pretty. Then we get into 8, Sebek. Now we're compartmentalizing the things we just made pretty. Now we're giving birth to it on the 9. And then we brought it to the earthly realm. And this is what the tarot is based on. This right here. Okay? And then you have the Hebrew letters in between, which have their own meaning to it. And like I said, we're going to get back into reading Sefer Yetzirah again, because it was very good reading. And we didn't get that far anyway. So Jupiter and Leo, expansion in Tippereth. It was good that I read to you guys all the Sephiro in this period of time, because Tippereth is connected to all the Sephiro. So if one Sephiro is not balanced, is underactive or overactive, you're going to feel it in your Tippereth. You're going to feel it in the middle. Okay. Joy, generosity is Jupiter as well. Business, long-term planning, all that stuff. Being optimistic in the long-term planning. Now, if you start being pessimistic, start thinking about challenges, you in the Saturn. Will it back, okay? Or will it forward? Because Saturn is the root chakra, Jupiter is the sacral. But that's where we're at with that. And then, with other parts of self, joy in the solar plexus. So not only do I want y'all to feel joy in your heart, I want you to feel joy in your solar plexus chakra. And you're not feeling joy, I think this goes back to, I love full circle stories. The analogy I give is, I'm David Ruffin. These are my backup singers. You guys come to see me. And then my cars repeat and they be like, yeah, what she said. That's what my cars essentially do. Okay. And so I talked about this earlier, about that connection with your emotions and your heart. And if you're not feeling joy and you don't like it, why are you doing it? Why are we doing this? Why are we still being activists about the same issues for centuries, for ages? It doesn't make sense to me that we're still having the same conversations, that we're still engaging in the same activities that we've hated. We've hated them. Why are we still engaging in them? Like, you guys don't realize during other periods of time, prior to, like, American slavery aside, because I know we like to go there, that was a crazy period of time. I think that was a lot of magic and a lot of revisionistic history happening during that period of time, where it wasn't about slavery. It was about the fact that we were going to war. We were in war. And their tactics to scaring us out of fighting in war was torturing us and watching each other get tortured. You know what I'm saying? Um, it wasn't slavery, it was war. We're still at war, but we so mentally messed up in the head. You know what I'm saying? But rewind back to that. Further back from that, because slavery ain't nothing new. Slavery didn't start with American. The copper colored people were slaves up in there in northern Africa, with the middle, with the Muslims and stuff, that religion. Now we got the Christian slaves, we had the Muslim slaves, whatever religion they had before that, they justified slavery in their own way. Whatever religion was before that was slavery. Like, it's constant slavery. There's not no one race, culture, group of people that was not enslaved at some point. Why is that? Because we've always been at war. We've always been going back and forth and arguing with each other and making each other submit to one another. Our solar plexus chakra has always been about controlling everything outside of ourselves. I don't understand the obsession. If that's what you want to do over there, I don't agree with it. But that's your business. Just keep that shit from away from me and my kids, because that's not what we're doing over here. It's really that simple. It's that easy. Like, people be complaining about, like, the stars. You know what I'm saying? You got stars. They create certain music and certain things that of course, I don't want my sons, exposed to. So what do I do as a parent? I can't control my kids, because I could say things. I know that from experience. My mom used to tell me what to do and shit like that, and it'd be like, I put that in consideration. But I get why you're telling me these things, but I'm either going to be sneaky and do what I want and get caught, deal with the repercussions, and still go out and be sneakier because now I'm trying not to get caught. We can keep doing that, or I'll listen to you or whatever, but that's still my choice regardless of which way I go. You know what I'm saying? Same shit with my kids. Like, I can guide y'all, I can advise you, I can tell you why I'm telling you what I'm telling you or whatever, but ultimately it's really up to you, bro. This is your reality, and I'm not in control. That means that I also can't fix what the fuck you do neither. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always about me punishing you. Keep that same energy when you do crazy stuff and you want to run to me to fix it. I'm not in control. You are. You understand? So those are conversations I have with my boys. It's your reality. You do what you want. But that's good. That's going to create how you live your life. And you're going to be mad at yourself later for what you do today. So, like, let's be fucking real for real sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that comes back to my mindset. We keep doing things that don't make us happy. Outcaves they came, and so is torture tactics. Mental development was lacking. Definitely, definitely. That was also something. I mean, I don't totally pinpoint that down to cave people. Like, I did read the Iceman Chronicles, so I do get that, like, because of, the environment they lived in, I'm heavy. I know Darwin is not the originator of this thought. However, and for sake of conversation, I do identify with Darwinism as far as your environment having effects on you psychologically and physically. If you're not born near the equator, why do you need to be heavily melanated? You don't. The further you are from the equator, the lighter you'll be, which is why I don't understand the argument between the Americas and Africa. And then we completely ignore the islands as if they're not on the equator as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything near the equator was heavily melanated. You know what I'm saying? And the further you go out, the lighter it gets. And so, anyway, it's a bunch of side conversations. Anyway, my whole point was slavery is not nothing new, right? And American slavery to the side, because we knew what that was about. Like you said, Jasmine, their mindset is different. They move different. They saw our concepts and they put their energy on it, how they do things, because of how they had to live where in their environment. You know what I'm saying? We've always had, this kind of slavery, enslavement, captives of war, da 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 da. However, in those spaces of time, housing was still provided. You know what I'm saying? You weren't going without. You weren't homeless. You wasn't out here hungry and starving and shit. Like, Things were provided to you for being our slave. It probably wasn't even called slave, just like how it's not called slave today. Today it's called employment. You have employment, but your employment doesn't even guarantee you housing. That's the crazy thing. Like once upon a time, we had guaranteed housing. Like if I lived on this person's plantation, I'm not sleeping outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm not begging nobody in front of 7-Eleven for a quarter. I'm good over here, and I have transportation. If I needed to go somewhere, like we horse and buggy in it. Certain things were granted. I got food. You know what I'm saying? There were certain things that were granted versus today where it's like, dang, y'all want us to be slaves, but y'all didn't even make sure we good over here, bro. Y'all not even putting us in a position that we even want to be in the joint. Like slavery was so good once upon a time when Moses tried to take them people to the promised land. They was like, bro, you got us out here hungry and thirsty. At least when we was slaves we was good. Why you got us out here like this? What is this? Man's was at the top of the mountain, started throwing the commandments at them. We only got 10 now because he started throwing rocks down. We don't even got all the commandments, y'all, because he was so pissed. He started throwing shit like, bro, y'all out here wilding. He like, yeah, we wilding, we bored. We was allowed to do this shit where we was at. This is crazy over here. It's too much responsibility. We not with it. We in the desert, deserting. So why are we engaging in this today? Like, what I'm saying? All that to say is like it's a constant, like, whatever, they done suck the joy out of it. We're not having fun here anymore. What's up? So joy is big on that. It's a wide life and survival, and we were there as well. For real. Our mindset came from a real similar place. You clear that up. Like I want people to do, but they direct it to slavery of us only. They do. And it's like we've been doing, like, it's not one culture that has not had this experience in it, but it was different. They keep embedding this, and the real reason why they keep embedding this is because we're still at war. They just don't want to do they and once we realize that we're still at war, we was beating ass. Y'all don't realize we was beating ass, so they started like doing this like crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's not that like we weren't crazy too. Like, come on now, look at the ritualistic dances that they do in the islands, bro. Like, look at we. It's still certain places in South America the colonists still not trying to go to. They're not trying to go to. You wanna know why? Because you're getting your head chopped off. You're getting easy. It's so easy down there. Even the animals is in on it. Even the plants is in on it. You're not gonna go down there and colonize nothing, bro. Go mind your business. You know what I'm saying? So what did they do? They created lasers, and now they burning shit up. I don't know if y'all remember that from a couple summers ago when they just started setting everything on fire. I don't know who they is, so please don't ask me. If y'all know who they is, let's talk about it, but not right now. Okay?
You could get arrested for talking about them, probably.
Probably.
They would absolutely execute you if you said that in a YouTube chat. You would just get permanently banned off of YouTube.
It's like Voldemort, like he who will not be named. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But like, fire started being set to forest. Like, oh, y'all not gonna let us colonize back. We created this new doohickey here. We don't even have to land there. We'll just spray fire. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to make light of the situation because it's messed up when you think about it. But also reminding y'all we still at war. It's just the rest of us are so mentally messed up. It's more of a mental and emotional war, which is why when my generation was brought into this world, we were in church. A lot of us had different experiences in the church. I didn't have the mainstream experience everybody's talking about with, oh, they lied to us, they stole money, da, da, da. I didn't have that experience. The church was the community for us. In fact, our church was the Underground Railroad station in the pulpit. And not saying that I was around during the Underground Railroad or anything, but that was like one of the things about the church. The church provided food, clothing, a safe space. It had a house, there's a lot of things in the church or whatever. And it was a community. I had my first son when I was in high school. If I didn't go to that church, bro, that church set me up so much. They was taking me out to eat. They was buying my clothes. I made it to college. I still went to college. Teen mom and everything. You know what I'm saying? Never played about me. It's a community or whatever. But all that to say, even when you go to church, the first thing they say is this is a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war we're in. It's a spiritual war we're in. And I kept hearing that all the time in my youth. Like, it's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war. And I didn't understand. I'm thinking it's going to be angels and demons coming out the sky. And, the fire chariot is going to be a whole thing. I didn't realize that this is it right here. It's the manipulation. It's the mind shit. It's the scrolling all day on social media, watching videos that are shortening your attention span to where, like, if I'm sitting here with you guys trying to have a lecture with you guys, or you guys can't sit through a church sermon, or you can't sit through a Bobby Hemmett, service, you can't sit through panic service, you can't sit through that. Your attention span is not there. You can't focus. You're fidgeting with stuff. You got like 3 or 4 phones. You got to doodle. You got to, like, it's a spiritual war. So because your mindset is there, what do you think your aura is doing? You know what I'm saying? It's not here. It's not present. It's not absorbing. It's not applicating. Unseen people from unseen places. Facts. So that's what makes it a spiritual war. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it the spiritual war for real. For real, is a play on, well, we're fabricating what happened. We're fabricating the basis of things that happen, especially through Disney movies, and we're making it seem like stuff is sweet. We're making it seem like the diversity and the unification is cool, but really, what it is a result of colonization. Now I got all these different cultures. Like, think about Alexander the Great. The man was trying to rule the world. He conquered all these different tribes. So now you got these different kind of tribes integrating with each other. And what is the propaganda to get y'all to get along, but not along well enough to try to come together and revolt against me? The same shit they do over here now. I'm gonna let y'all get along well enough, but not super well. Like, y'all can go to the same Walmart, but y'all ain't really fucking with each other. Not enough to come together and revolt against me. It's really nothing new under the sun. I don't know how I got here, but this is where we was at. Anyway, the last card is enjoying life. We want to be in joy. I just see, like, just mad joy. Whether we're talking about, okay, Pluto and the moon is all about transformations and empowerment to your emotions. We're pulling the magician card, but after all of that, we just come into joy. We got a little adventure that's going to lead you to joy. You know what I'm saying? But once we get there, we're there. We got the Jupiter and Leo, we got the joy, and we're enjoying life. So we just got to get through you guys realizing you're the magician and you create the reality. And a lot of this propaganda, a lot of this manipulation, this revisionistic history, the selective memory, the reconstruction of language. So you don't know what the fuck a slave is. You don't know what war is for real, for real. You don't know what certain tactics are. You don't know the difference between talking about race and tribe. You don't know how to talk about tribe and colonized land borders. Like, there's a lot of jumbleness, and it's intentional, and it's because it gives other people joy. But what gives you joy? What do you want in your reality, regardless of what's giving other people joy? We can't control them. Like, you have to understand, we can't control them. All this going outside and look at me and do what I'm telling you to do and da 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 da, that's going against everything I just fucking said. We can't go outside and control them. The only people we can control is ourselves. I can only control me. You can only control you. You can only control you. You can only control you. We can only control ourselves. So knowing that, what are you going to do? You can't control the enemy. Y'all can march, y'all can shoot, y'all can do all the things y'all want to do, da 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 da, but you can't control them. And this is a part of the spiritual war. This is why we come into the tree of life. This is why we're gonna reset this Sefer Yetzirah again, because these are the only things you can control and calibrate and manipulate and stuff like that, and let them flow together. And as you do that, it creates an electromagnetic energy that hopefully other people are in alignment with, and you guys do your thing together. But if you guys are doing that thing to come together and try to control and manipulate other stuff, you get where I'm going with this. I don't have to do too much. Cartoons are not even PG or R or G rated anymore. I didn't know that.
What is G rating? Grandpa?
No, G is guardian. You need a...
Oh, you need, like, a parent.
No. G is better than PG. PG is when you need a parent or guardian, and G is just like, well, we're cool, right? I think.
I'm pretty sure there's already a rating for that. I mean, the rating, there's no, like, actual rating for kids, like PG, whatever the one for restricted R-rated. I don't think that's an actual like letter for children's TV. I think it's just this is for kids. They don't actually mark it. It's just that's for kids.
Mm. I don't be paying attention. My kids don't watch TV like that. They be on a, they be watching videos.
Would you like to watch Lilo and Stitch though?
I do. We can do that tomorrow.
Why not?
Cause it's about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. We're about to go to bed.
Oh.
I gotta get up in the morning. We talked about this. I got work. G is general. Okay, so G is general audience, and then PG is when we go to parent guardian. Okay, cool. So yeah, I want y'all to pay attention to how y'all feel. Pay attention to your joy. Remember that you are the alchemist. Everything starts and ends with you. The only person you can control is you. And when you create your coven or your community, oh yeah, because the first card was community, right? All that, make sure that you talk about, because collectively you guys create a tree of life too. So not only do you have one as an individual, but we have it one as a collective, and then you have one amongst the community that you create, or the different communities that you're in. They all have their own Tippereth. And if you create a community with a group of people, and y'all Jabora is on trying to control things outside of yourself, y'all doing yourself a disservice. Y'all focus about the wrong things. You better focus on yourself, all right, and create the reality you want to create. Now, I ain't saying let people in and do whatever they want in your space. You always defend and protect. But, you know where I'm going with that one. That's what I got for y'all today. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. Y'all really sat with me for a long time. And I sat with y'all for a long time. I got a lot off my chest because once again, I ain't see y'all in a few days. This is why I need to do this every day. This is why I do a daily mathematics. But like I said, life been life for your girl. And sometimes the vibe just wasn't here. Like last week, I was very sleepy. I was tired. I ain't gonna hold you. I came straight home from work and was like, all right, bedtime. But I guess it's like being one with the weather. I am one with the weather. It was rainy and cold. The sun came out this weekend. Hopefully we have a week of the sun coming out, because I'm tired of being cold and rained on. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Happy Moon Day. Happy day of 7. Enjoy your day. Reach out if you would like a personal reading. I do astrology, numerology, gematria, and tarot spread readings. I do free consultations. You tell me what you need, and I tell you how I can fit your services. We talk about pricing, etc., etc. It's fun there. You know what I'm saying? Nice little one-on-one introduction. Also, I teach astrology 101. I teach energy awareness, as well as tarot 101 and numerology. So if you guys want a one-on-one course with me, that's cool. If you guys having an event and y'all want to book a girl, I love it. I love doing classes, and I'll be doing some virtual classes. I'm just trying to figure out what my dates are. It's because I guess like virtual is cool, but it's not. It's like when the summertime comes, I want to go outside. I want to be in the house doing virtual stuff, and I guess I kind of project that on other people. Like, y'all ain't trying to be up here taking no virtual classes. Y'all, we trying to be outside. We trying to be at the events, have some refreshments, see y'all in person. I do travel, so if you're in a different state and stuff, I will come out there and teach my class. I'm here for it. And so I'm gonna let y'all go. I love y'all so much. Peace to y'all on TikTok. Y'all some real ones. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great.
Have a good.
Peace to y'all on Facebook. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Jasmine, for tapping in. I hope you enjoy your day. And peace to y'all on YouTube. Y'all know y'all my faves. I love y'all.
I wish I could join.
What, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Why you can't?